Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Can everybody in the chat hear us?
Hey, hey.
Sweet. No sound. CD says no sound.
CD's got no sound. Starbucks has got sound.
I have sound.
Oh, now he has sound.
Now he has sound. Okay, cool. Sorry, guys, we had some technical difficulties. But what's a Hold My Pen Promptcast without some technical difficulties? You know, things happen. Here we are. Yeah, that happens. It just says check the volume settings.
No shit. Which volume settings? That's my thing. Is that I'm sitting here going, what the bloody hell?
Is it Izzy, me, or Patrick? Huh?
I have no idea.
Leon being Leon.
Star, stay out of Aunt Cash's makeup bag.
You don't need a makeover.
Stay out of it. No.
That cat comes out with really luscious lashes and and rouge. We're gonna be in trouble.
Yeah.
If it's not computers, it's the cats.
Man.
Oh my.
That was removed almost 7 years ago. You don't need it.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Hold My Pen Promptcast.
Our background is a little bit different over here at the Kraus homestead. That's gonna get fixed.
Izzy's all lights and keeping us in the retro vibe. I thought it was funny earlier when she plugged them up and we were sitting there talking and the damn thing was going off.
Gonna get the disco.
Whoop,
Like
whoop.
that.
Sorry.
Invite the AI.
Yeah.
He's just trying to make sure we remember.
I know.
We haven't gotten that far yet.
Yeah.
Sudden light change warning.
What?
I swear.
Oh, because it was lighting up and now it's going with our voices.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, somebody's talking about me. Any bahoosel. Welcome to the... Hey, welcome.
Hello. You're a buffer.
Who?
My face is bright white. Yeah, well, I don't know what to tell you. Check your internet settings.
Can you change the color of the lighting?
No,
Hold on a second. No, yeah, I'm unfrozen now. We're good.
Oh wow.
It'll be funny on the
Mhm.
playback. I don't usually watch this. I watch over here. So unless I'm like, oh well, I'm watching chat.
Because I got such a shiny face.
Well, it's really coming off your glasses. So
But yeah, normally.
yeah, normally you got the light on in the background.
Yeah, lots of spinning wheel of doom.
It'll be fine. We'll just deal with it as it goes. Okay. Uh, Yay. Everybody, welcome to the anniversary show. It is hard, very, very hard to believe that this is our third season. And apparently we can be Googled. I did not know that. That's amazing. Sticks had said that earlier, and Sticks like, well, I think Google's got their information wrong because they're like, it says that you guys have only been on there for a year, and I'm like, no, that's how long we've had a name. So, uh, for those that don't know, uh, I am Julia Fisher, author of Destined for More, the Four Kings Before Kings series, Crossroads, uh, the first book of the Double Edge series, and many other things that all involve the show. Uh, you have Izzy Kraus, our technical engineer, our technically is the backbone of the show. If this is my brainchild, that's the backbone over there. She runs everything and she keeps me on track and everything. We cannot do the show without the Izzy. We just couldn't. That's how that freaking rolls. Eventually we will get to the point where it's, multiple people being able to handle it when Izzy goes and runs away screaming. So we're good.
I'm the
Okay. And then
trainee.
right next door to Izzy and Izzy Fox, you have Kesh Butler, uh, who came in with us last year and has stuck around through all the shenanigans.
Well, nearly 30 years of my shenanigans, so I mean.
Your shenanigans, but at least the last, 2 years, 3 years of mine.
Yep.
Is also our resident stylist. If you have a fashion question, that's your chick. We can tell you if you look good and if your ass looks great, but other than that,
If you need to know about stripes and patterns and color, whatever, don't ask me and Julie. Ask Cash or Patrick.
right, and that's just fair. Like, look, I can tell you if you look good or that doesn't go with that. That's as far as that goes. For me, it's like I even ask Cash from time to time. I'm like, hey, does this look all right? And she's like, yes. I'm like, okay. And I go and get dressed. Like, this is how that works. And then right below us, you have Mr. PA Power, author of so many freaking books, but the ones that were done out on this show, and this is just to prove how big the show has gotten. In now the third year we're going into it. He has finished Decoding Shady Pines on the show. He has written Kingdom of Shadows, a dark Peter Pan retelling. He has done the Gargoyle story.
Heart of Stone.
Heart of Stone. I always
finished.
forget
I
which.
need
What
that one in my hands.
Yeah, we all need that one in our hands.
Sure.
He's I'm just gonna just straight up freaking announce it and call him out. He was the author of Marked by the Dawn.
We're tired of keeping our mouth shut.
Tired of keeping our mouth shut because it's gonna be out soon, and I
Gotta start marketing now, bro.
Yeah, we gotta start marketing. He was the anonymous of Marked by the Dawn, which was the mafia
Anon 3.
local. Yeah.
Mafia werewolf, yes.
And then you have the Gemini story that none of us can remember the name of.
Yeah.
Title is working in progress because I've changed. I think I'm changing it because right now
Okay.
it's Born of Silver and Shadow.
Yes. For us, it will always be the Gemini story because it's Gemini twin. So that's what it is. That's 5 stories that were written on the show. 5. That's not counting.
That's not including my short story for Sinful.
Yep.
Okay, and the short story for Simple. But all of that came out of Patrick in the last year, 2 years that we've been 2-year anniversary. And now we are heading into a next year where he is going to be at Flirty in Kansas, and he will be at Sinful Signings in March. Flirty in Kansas is also in February. I don't have links. I'm pretty sure we will have links in our newsletter on how to obtain things. Trisha will also be at Flirty in Kansas. So, I mean, we've all come together. And that's just out of the main group up here. Kesh picked up something that she ain't touched in forever and now is sitting at almost, 300,000 words?
Something close
Give
to that.
or take.
250, 300,000, somewhere in there.
Yeah, it was, I was estimating high because I don't know when your last edit was. But, and then you have Izzy, who swore up and down she'd never do it. And now is in the process of writing 5 or 6 or series. Look, at that point.
It's a total right now of 42 or 43 books.
Right.
Now, not all of those have been started, but they're planned because they are additional ones in series. But,
Hey, Ace.
Hey, Ace.
Hi.
Not to mention, if I can get off my duff and get Michelle's story done, she might be doing something else too.
That's Sticks, not Ace.
No. She.
Oh, you mean
she?
Okay. I didn't catch the she part. He, not she. I'm like, that's Sticks. That's not Ace. Any behoozles. Yeah, we've got a lot of some major lags for both trains. Just kind of go with us on the technical difficulty. We're trying our best here. And that's not counting the amount of things that I've written for the show. Others have written for the show. We're here to inspire. We're here to get you off your proverbial rump and do the damn thing. And if one person comes up and says, "Hey, I, your show really made me want to do that," then it's like, okay, we did our job. We did our job. So while we're getting everything fixed on the back end, let me go ahead and just give out a few things. Also, starting for January is our completely anonymous month. When everybody came in, they've got, or as they were put in, they have numbers. They will keep that number all the way through until the end of the month. And that's when we will have the who's who. So, should be interesting. And I know there's a lot of you guys in the comments that will be speculating as you go. And it's going to be fun for us. It will. It'll be fun for us. But as things go, it should be a hell of a ride this month. What's going on? It's like everybody's laughing. I'm over here trying to be serious. Hey! I love y'all, but officially kiss my ass. And honestly, I'm over here giving an introduction while you guys are over there trying to fix it.
I think it's fixed.
Is it fixed?
Thus far, the only issue is the fact that Spotify doesn't come through. And that's a Discord, Spotify, OBS connection thing that I have to fix. The same way I fixed it when I had to set everything up on the old computer. So, that being said, also, I'm going to hook up with Styx because I need help. And once I get this figured out and learn how to use it, then I got to teach this one how to use it. And but it's actually pretty awesome because I hit this button right here.
Mm-hmm.
No, I hit this button right here, and that's what made us go live.
Woo!
Now,
Leon, we haven't even started doing stuff. Why are you guessing?
And then I could this. Okay, we're just going to test it. And we're back.
Yeah, and now we're...
Oh, that's something completely different.
Yeah, Leon, I'm with Patrick. Izzy, what did you hit?
What do you mean? What did I hit?
Now it's starting soon.
Now it's back. I think it's all just because, remember, everything's so delayed. It's from when she was doing the schmuckery at the pit.
Push that button, and I activated the starting soon. And then I was able to push another button.
Be right back button. Okay, all the buttons.
I figured out that part, and on top of that, I did figure out volume and forward and back and all that stuff to handle Spotify. It's just Spotify isn't coming through the stream. So That will be something to figure out at a later date, but I did get it put on the Stream Dock, and I still have to figure out the whole browser sources so that with a click of a button, I can switch out the names that are underneath the bottom. Click it to turn it on, click it to turn it off, click the next person. So that's going to be awesome, and I have 4.5 weeks to figure that out.
Right. I do think it's great because quite literally, when Sticks got 2 for Christmas because apparently there was a miscommunication. We are one of his buttons.
I know. Kesh told me that. I was like,
oh my God. He's like, I was really hoping both of you would be here because I popped over on his stream as soon as he went live. But he was like, I was really hoping you and Izzy were both going to be here because I have something to show you. He's like, but you're here. And he hits the button. And I was like, oh.
That's super sweet.
Yeah. He did say that he would raid out to us when he was done tonight. So.
Oh, sweet. Awesome sauce. Okay. So with that, cut off. Okay. I don't want to know, Nutter. I don't want to know. I don't know.
I don't know, but
Context
something about
is important. I got it. Okay, you just go.
Driver music.
Huh?
Leon did a driver pick music.
Oh.
Because 789.
No, we're not. Nope. Okay, bingo. Down, up, 4, 3.
2, 1.
Oh, 2 and 1 are sitting positions.
Oh, okay.
So, okay. I guess we're ready to get started with Fresh Ink. As you can see in the center of our black little screen there where we're all floating around, you see Fresh Ink. Fresh Ink is a concept of, hey, it's January, it's the new year. Fresh ink. I really need fresh ink, but that's a whole different fresh ink. This whole point was born out of an experiment that I did a month or so ago where I wrote my thing and entered it as anonymous, which was actually inspired by Patrick pulling his Marked by the Dawn stunt, now that I can talk about that. And you guys gave your honest feedback with no preconceived notions of what kind of story it was going to be because of who wrote it. Right? So that was the whole premise, and you guys made me feel really good that I'm going to be able to do that story. I have no idea where it's going, but so we're making y'all get read out completely anonymously for the entirety of January. Depending on if we have a 1 or 2 night show the last week of January. With how many you guys put in for this week, pretty sure we're going to be doing 2 night shows all fucking month long, which means we will be announcing who did what at the end of the February 1st show. There we go. So, for the month of January, there will not be current story by listed down below, but that does not change the fact that these words belong to the people who wrote them and submitted them, which will be revealed February 1st. Your numbers are being attributed to your actual name in our little document. Don't forget that we're also doing a secondary challenge with TrackBear. Anything you write, you can find that information in the Discord or in the newsletter. So those are the two pieces of places you can get that information with the link and the leaderboard. Sign up. I can't pull it up right now. My brain is getting very, very fried. But does anybody have the TrackBear numbers as of today? How much is has actually been logged?
I had to wait for it to update. 16,228 words.
Yo, we're 3 days in. We are 3 days in, and as a writing collective who have added our numbers to this leaderboard, 16,000 words in 3 days. And this one hasn't even added hers yet.
You haven't added yours yet either.
Yeah, but that's because I only did anything today. I've been focused on sexy spreadsheet stuff with work. So,
right.
And when I say that this thing is the most beautiful spreadsheet that I have ever fucking created, even more so than my reading tracker, and I can't share it with you all, is just beyond. I have last year's data. I have running this year's data. I have individual people's data. I have a comparative where it compares last year to this year's numbers in real time. I'm that kind of sexy nerd.
And currently, the first and second for as of today, is Spitzer K,
of course,
aka CM Weller, and me.
Of course.
We're battling it out because I'll jump him and then he jumps me.
Well, and here's the other thing. Z's like a whole half a day ahead of us. Right? So Nutter can get his information in there way before the rest of us are even awake. I know, that's why I said Nutter instead. Naughty, do you think? I'm only also wearing. Need a refill.
Look, the way Izzy can jump in and fix formulas, not just create them, but fix them, that's doing something right there. But yes, we encourage everybody to go over and add to the tracker. If you do need any help with the tracker, there are some of us that are very proficient. I guess that's the best way to put that. Proficient with the tracker because we've been playing with it for a minute. So if you need any help with that, please let us know and we'll get you in on it. But yeah, it's amazing that like as he said, we're 3 days in. We're 3 days into the new year, and this whole friendly competition might get upped within the next, I don't know, 6 months because we've already hit it. Yes, you do. You have a you have a 1 a.m. activity period.
Where's my fucking hammer so that I can kill all my new computers? I'm just gonna go dark.
Percussive maintenance.
I'm just gonna go dark. Just gonna kill all the computers.
You would go crazy within
I
24
would go
hours.
crazy. No, what, 24 hours? Try 20 minutes.
Yeah, I was trying
I
to
give
be
her
generous.
I give her wait a minute. I give her 10, but she's got to be fully awake.
I was trying to be generous.
10 minutes.
Look.
Stop.
I wake up, and before I even sit up out of bed, I'm popping this on and the iPad, and I don't even have my glasses on yet. And I'm connected to devices. I'll be fine if we start implanting computer stuff. No, I can't even. No, I can't. Mm-mm.
You need something to scream at you that you haven't eaten today?
I mean, that's what we're for, isn't it?
I was about to say that's going to eliminate my job.
Look, I just need to be uploaded into the machine when I'm dead. Okay, just upload me into the machine, and I'll keep running everything.
So we're going to have a ghost in the shell issue. Okay, gotcha.
No, we're going to have biological AI.
I mean, why not? Everybody at work just keeps going, we need your brain. And I'm like, I literally built a OneNote that is completely my brain so that you can search it. Why do you keep kind of asking me? Go search my brain.
Maybe you need to label it my brain instead of OneNote.
That might work.
It literally says on the side my initials, and when you hover over it, it says my name, so they know that I'm the one who wrote it. Anyway, first story, submitter number 1, as we know, because even though there is the whole no current story written by so-and-so this month, please remember our words, our voices, our writers' words, our prompters' words are not to be used to train AI. Figure it out yourself and write your own goddamn stories. That's about right, Nutter. Okay, real quick. Gotta send a message.
Right, Leon?
There we go. He's just gonna have to.
First of all, it would not be to Boys to Men. Now, mind you, would she have specific Backstreet Boys songs loaded and she would hit her heel and they would play and she would dance along with to it? Absolutely.
Everybody
it that way.
by the way.
But we can stay away from
No,
biggest.
no, no, no. Wait. No, it's it. I want it that way. I want a three-way. Hey, it's a parody. Calm down. I'm sorry, I have to make fun of the Backstreet Boys.
No, you don't. There's certain things that should be
Hey,
kept as an inside voice. That's one of them. See, it's my screens. It's my screens that are giving the glare. Okay. Anyway, our first submitter for the evening. And here we go. 45 minutes into the show. Dear love, it's been so long since we last saw each other. I think of you from time to time, remembering all the memories we made together. My favorite was when we could finally afford to go to a restaurant and order a seafood platter. We savored every bite as if it were our last meal. I suppose, thinking about it now while I write this letter to you, it really was our last meal. Nothing will ever compare to that meal. Sadly, so many restaurants have closed down around where I live. I hope there are still some restaurants around where you live. You promised me you would take me out on another date to somewhere yummy. Will you be coming back soon? I would love for you to take me away, as we live in a safe place and are close to one another. For you to wrap your arms around me and whisper sexual words into my ear. I have become bored with all the talk of our future. I want those dreams to become more than just talk. Let's make them a reality. Come back to me and take me with you. We shall play this game of life together. Sincerely, Rose. Placing the pen in a small flower pot, Rose folded the letter in half and put it in an envelope. Placing a jacket on, she left it unbuttoned as she walked out of her apartment. Locking the doors, she turned and walked past 3 women speaking, all dressed in worn-down stripper outfits. Outside, it was no better. People were huddled together, selling off underground goods. Playing ignorance, Rose continued walking down the filthy streets. She's dressed in a light brown jacket with a baby blue dress underneath. Despite the way she dressed, to observe, screening the environment multiple times as she waited, fond of time, she noticed a clock hanging upside down over a shattered window. Tilting her head, she tried to read the clock. 2 long hands and 2 short hands ticked around the clock. One big hand was on the 11 and the other on the 1, while the one small hand was on the 6 and the other on the 12. Hmm, Rose hummed. The sound of heavy steps came from the other side of a swinging door. Slamming them open, a large man walked past Rose, glaring at her before heading out of the building. Fixating on the door until she finally snapped out of it, she looked back at the upside-down clock. Before she knew it, the small hands had almost made it all the way back to the original spots from when Rose had last seen them. It never takes this long. What the hell is going on? Rose mumbled. Standing up, she looked from the door to the rest of the building and sighed in defeat. Walking towards what's left of the entrance, she tucks the envelope into her jacket pocket. Do you have a package you would like to send through the bittersweet rail? A male voice said. Turning to the person, Rose glared at him as she placed her hand on the letter, taking a few steps towards him. Making a lady wait is rude. You should be ashamed of yourself. Don't let it happen again, she demanded. Smiling, he motioned to the back, holding the swinging door open. My apologies. Please come with me. I shall do what I can to make this right. Knocking on an apartment door, 2 men dressed in slick black outfits waited. One had a hood over their head and a black mask connected to their shirt over their face. While the other man's face was visible, his long sleeves were pulled up and his dress shirt was partly unbuttoned. Just then, 3 women stepped out of a room 2 doors down. Whistling sharply as one of the girls pulled out 3 electric cigars from her boobs, passing the other 2 to the girls, inhaling a large breath before blowing the smoke towards the men. You guys look lonely. If you want, we can keep you company, one of the younger women said. In a few swift steps, the man with his sleeves rolled up snatched all 3 cigars. Placing them in his pocket, he grinned as the women glared at him. You know smoking is banned. Very bad for your health, you know, he said. Oh, as if you give a shit about what we do, as long as we don't go beyond the border or fuck with the upper city. We do as we please without consequences. Or does a piggy such as yourself not understand that? The oldest woman noted. Ah, of course. So give me some information and I will give you the cigars back. So taking something that wasn't yours in the first place isn't a fair trade. If you want info, give us something of value. The old lady interrupted. Aw, poor you. Life isn't fair. What are you going to do about it? Stop tormenting them, Derek, the other man stuttered, staring at them unmoved. Whatever you say, Jax, Derek huffed. Do you know the girl who lives in that apartment? All we know is she dresses like she doesn't belong here, the older woman said. How so? She dresses like she is from above. Must have a lot of enemies. Can't see a lot of people enjoying the view of someone who dresses as if she's above them. Everyone here has enemies, but her, maybe a handful at most. Oh? Yeah, she dresses like you piggies. Yet it's as if there's some unspoken thing that makes people leave her alone. Everyone is on their best behavior when she is around. Hell if we know what kind of strings she pulls. Everyone, you say. Even the different ghouls? Excuse me, did you just call the ghost runners ghouls? The old woman snapped. Yeah, you got a problem with that? Derek replied. If you want more info about that girl, you better cut the ghoul shit out, the youngest girl hissed. Underground creatures such as yourself do look and act a lot like ghouls. Hard to tell if you are really human, if you know what I mean. Wonder if the girl in that room went missing because she was the only human down in this dumpster. Harvested her organs and flesh and all the human parts of it. We are done here. You want to find her? Go look around, the older woman said, guiding the other two into their apartment, slamming the door behind her. Knocking on the door, Derek pulled out the 3 electric cigars. The old woman opened enough for her head to pop out, giving him a death glare. You want these back, no? Derek taunted. Snatching them out of Derek's hand, the old stripper peeked out a little more, looking down both directions before back at him. She always goes to the bittersweet rail on run days, she whispered, closing the door gently. You need to work on being. I get it, Jax. You need to let me do my job the way I do things. Stop being a stick in the mud. Now come on, we need to go check on this bittersweet rail lead. Dun dun dun. Right? Bitzer? I mean,
That was a good one. I liked it.
that,
It's got a lot of potential.
yeah.
Is it what I want to know is it dystopian? Is it cyberpunk? Or is it kind of a mix of everything? Because like Betzer says, cyberpunk.
Oh, Leon's got his theories, huh?
Oh, please do tell.
Oh, yes, you guys can speculate in the comments all day long. Go ahead and light them up on who you think they are. We can't tell you until the end of the month.
And this
And
might
we
be
will certainly not tell you if you're right.
This might be the one time where we're just going to smile at everything and go, okay.
If you say so.
You're not going to be able to tell because we're going to turn on those poker faces all the way up and make you think every single answer is right.
Is that better?
Personally, I don't think my eyebrows can get any closer to my hairline, so you're just going to have to go with it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, we neither confirm nor deny.
Yep.
And that's not an admission of we know.
Bullshit.
It's
We know exactly who wrote it.
no.
The email.
To that, it's not an admission of they're right that we know that, but
yeah,
it's like
no. We know exactly who it is.
Yep.
But we ain't telling you squat.
Yep.
Hell, technically, if Patrick really, really wanted to, because he has access to the information to get into the inbox, he could easily get in there and see whose is whose, but he's not going to.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
Nope.
So of the 5,
It's no fun for me.
right? See, exactly. So of the traditional 5 hosts that are up here, the only one who doesn't have any fucking clue, confirmed clue, is Patrick.
We get her. Eventually, yes, you will get your pen back, Ace.
Yes.
I mean, all depends on how well it writes.
Nah, unless it's a Sharpie or a Tombow, you can have it back.
Yeah.
Oh, and you can't, nobody will get any of my Esther Brooks. In fact, I'm considering having the kids put my Esther Brooks in the casket with me when I get cremated. They're my fountain pens.
I'm about to say, are you planning on signing a lot of checks in the afterlife? I mean,
No, see, so this one belonged to my grandmother. She bought it at
How do
a.
you think she's gonna? How else do you think she's gonna cross the river Styx?
This one belonged to my grandmother. She bought it in the early 70s for $2 at the pharmacy. She also had a gray one. It doesn't work. So I had to buy a refurbished gray one that cost me $78.
for a pen?
Yeah, they don't make these anymore. They're vintage, they're collector's items. I have an original inherited one and one that was refurbished.
What about you, Sticks?
No, we're talking about crossing the river Styx, not crossing you. But look.
Doe, when you get a minute, Izzy needs a tutorial.
Hey, look, I got the scenes going. Okay, I got the scenes going. I've got it to turn on Spotify, and I got it to play and go forward, back, and adjust volume. I've got some stream issues with the Spotify, and we're good. Yeah, that looks familiar. Of course it does. Oh, hold on. Snapchat. Oh, God bless America. It's just my kid.
Speaking of which, while we're waiting on the next one, I need to go check.
I mean,
So anyone want to wager any guesses who that was? Just while we're waiting on stuff. It was you?
6 does the werewolves, so crosses are appropriate. LOL, or is that vampires? Oh well, same diff. Ace, we go them's fighting fucking words. All right? Vampire and werewolf are 2 completely different creatures. No. Now, do they often go hand in hand in stories? Abso-fucking-lutely, but they are not the same difference.
Turn the pot.
Very much stirring the pot. I see you. I see you. Hold on, my kid's freaking. Send me the link to the Twitch stream. And I'm like, you're in the freaking server, so, you could get it on your freaking own. But yeah, sure. Things I do for my spawn. Is it safe to take ibuprofen when you're on whiskey?
Let me ask Dr. Google.
Fair, the headache started before the whiskey, so not really.
Taking ibuprofen while drinking whiskey can increase GI bleed.
Exactly what Patrick just said.
Okay. I guess it's gummies afterwards. I don't know, Leon. I mean, we got Cash with the Dr. Google, and then we've got the medical professional on screen.
So, if you were a normal person, and I mean this with all love, if you're a normal person and have a traditional 1 to 2 drinks and take ibuprofen, you're typically fine. But if you are an easy drink and ibuprofen, it won't mix.
I mean, that's fair.
Love you.
I have been mixing them a little heavy.
Hard. Yeah. And I know my Izzy, and I want my Izzy to be safe. Because Izzy is going to be my guest in March.
I thought that was under wraps, but okay.
Mm-mm.
So, for those that don't know, goes to Sinful Signings, he will have 2 guests with him, myself and Julie.
Yes, we're Patrick's entourage.
Julie will be my PA.
Nope. We've talked about it in the Discord, but not on the stream.
Hey,
German
we
redheads,
gotta
everybody.
we gotta have our hold my pen represented.
I have previously, so I won't be there.
Uh-oh. All right, we have everybody back. So we are going to go on to the next story. Again, belongs to the author who, until February 1st, shall remain anonymous. He didn't want to follow the stranger, but his feet had other plans. For the sake of his family back in England, for the sake of society and the love he left behind. His name was Frederick Cinnabah. He was not a baron here in the wilds of San Francisco. Then again, everyone here was a stranger to him. A goodly percentage of them didn't understand the Queen's English. Some of them were outright barbarians, but this one lured him in. The stranger was short and dressed in the style of the Spanish cowherds. Vaquero, Frederick believed they were called. The fact that they concealed everything about them but their eyes and Hanger turned and immediately found himself. We're back. That daydream may have been his demise. He turned up the same side street his stranger turned and immediately found himself pinned to a wall with a knife at his throat. ¿Qué quieres? ¿Por qué me persegues? It was the short stranger. Intense eyes, fierce like a nighttime storm, skin the exact shade of a burnished oak. Even though those eyes were all Frederick could see of him, they were enrapturing. Then he remembered that he had a knife at his neck. and this fellow didn't understand English. Fortunately, he'd been reading a Spanish phrase book. Mi siento? He managed. No habla español? The next thing he knew, the world spun and he was lying painfully in a pile of street debris. Frederick was very familiar with the blossoming pain of a black eye. Considering the knife, he was lucky to get away with bruises. Imbecile, sneered the vaquero. Perhaps, he told himself, it was a better idea to avoid falling in love at first sight. Far too risky. Frederick picked himself up and sought out a bar. He needed to drown his sorrows. This one, like many in the wilds of the West, was a combination bar, inn, bawdy house, gambling establishment, and very possibly an apothecary. There was at least a poster declaring someone's panacea potion with dubious efficacy. He paid it no heed, just like the denizens within paid him no heed as he staggered up to a stool at the bar. "A que vienes desconocido," said the person behind the bar. Frederick had to squint to realize she was a woman. Tall, dark, gray in her tight curls, and a rather brigandish attitude to clothing. No hablo español? He managed, wincing just in case he was offensive. English? Yes'm. Then what's your poison? First drink's free. Huh, he said. I didn't expect it to work again. He needed comfort. He needed familiarity. He needed civilization. I don't suppose I could indulge in a large Moet and Chandon? We got beer, whiskey, and the local rock gut made out of prunes, said the woman. Mostly prunes. It's an acquired taste. Then, Frederick sighed in resigned heartbreak, I must therefore drown my sorrows in beer. Dun dun dun.
That was fantastic.
Okay, just to make sure we got clarity, dude got stabbed and then went to a bar?
No. The knife was held to his throat.
Okay, I thought he got stabbed there for a minute, and I'm sitting there like, I would have gone to, like, a doctor somewhere? Not necessarily a bar.
No, he had the knife to his throat, and so he tried to speak Spanish poorly. Thank you for that. Whoever wrote that, thank you for making it so that I didn't sound like a complete idiot. He didn't know much Spanish, so and then he got punched in the face. And it happened so fast that he didn't even see the punch coming, and he just ended up laying in the street.
Okay.
I really like it.
Sure I had all the detail there, and I'm like, what?
I like it. I don't know who the fuck this guy is, this Frederick, but like that San Francisco Wild West kind of,
Put him up.
That was.
Which makes me also wonder with this one, is this LGBTQ before LGBTQ because of the time frame it looks like it's in? Of course, we don't get a whole lot of detail from it. Yeah. I mean, they kept it very short. So it's like, I'm thinking like with the way the details were read out, this is more like 1920s, 1930s.
Even further back than that.
I'm pretty sure further back than that. The Vaqueros?
That was like before California was even part of the Union, like way before.
Okay, so yeah, Patrick says 1890.
Yeah. You're right, Leon. God damn it, I gotta stop doing that. Great descriptions and the characters felt lived in. That's what the first one did too. Like the dinginess of it and the plants coming in and out of the walls of the post office, and like you guys are really taking this 2,500 limit and going, let me concentrate just on this portion of the story and make sure that my details are in there. I'm not just throwing as many words as I can at the screen. I'm actually being cognizant of what words are going to be put in there. And working on your scene descriptions and your people descriptions, and it's 2 in, and I could not be more proud of you.
Yeah.
I felt very brought into both of them, especially that second one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so few words, but oh my gosh,
My
just
jam
But
is Wild West
there's a lot
historical fiction or Revolutionary War historical fiction. Those are my like 2. If I'm not reading old white man thrillers, that's what I go to.
and what I can't believe is 558 words.
Yeah,
That felt like more.
that felt like way more. Really immersive.
Very much so. That's why I had to stop and like, whoa, wait a minute. Make sure I've got these details right. Did he get stabbed and then go into a bar? No, he just had a knife to his throat, didn't see a punch coming, and then ended up in a bar. It's like, okay, I just gotta make sure I had my details correct.
Crap, I put the last one. Did I put it in the wrong one? Oh, I put it in the right one. Different folders for different years.
Yeah, I created that earlier.
Thank you. And apparently I didn't put it, or I thought I put it in the most recent folder, forgetting that I hadn't created the 2026 folder. So I was like, when I went to go put this one in, I was like, oh shit, 2026. Did I put the other one in the 2025? No, I accidentally put it in the right folder.
Happy little treat.
Happy little accidents.
Yes, Esterbrook pens. On top of that, the guy that I bought the refurbished one from, when he messaged me and he was like, hey, if this is for Christmas, I can rush it to you if it's for a Christmas present. And I go, well, it's kind of a Christmas present to me. So, it's fine whenever it gets here. And then I explained my grandmother's pen where the bladder inside is busted, and he goes, I restore them as a hobby. If you want to send it to me, I'll fix it up. I never did get around to sending it to him, but I might message him again this next year and go, hey, don't know if you remember me. Maybe I'll buy a new one from him and go, but don't send it yet. I'm going to send you mine, and then you send me the 2 together. How about that?
Right.
Do some wheeling and dealing and horse trading. God bless America, you put me in the Wild West, and now suddenly I'm going to be talking like I'm a cowherd myself. Oh, wait. I was.
Because you grew up on a farm.
You go get them cow chips, okay? We need to cook.
Make a great heat source. If you dry them out right, cow patties, they make a great heat source. Don't smell too good, but I mean, what?
Sometimes you just gotta pass the smell.
I mean, shit on fire is the way Americans are living right now, so whatever.
We didn't say what was in the dumpster. We just said it was a dumpster fire.
Yep. Wait a minute. Hey, Julie, on the tracker, can you you're not in it though, are you?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Which submitter am I stopping at?
You're stopping at 7.
7's the last one I'm doing tonight.
Yes.
Okay. Go. That gives me a I love how we're just live in front of everybody and we're doing codes and code words and hidden documents that nobody else knows about.
And the whole thing is hopefully let's all cross our fingers and pray abundance and wealth onto at least this host at this point, because what I would like to do is get a bigger monitor setup So I can run my own version. We're not taking away from Home Ep and Promptcast. I'll be running mine during the day.
Right.
But also, so I can switch between freaking screens, and I'm not having to like, oh, drop this. Like, I want certain things in certain places, and I need money to buy more screens and better equipment.
There's this wonderful little feature on Windows. So, like, right here on this half of the screen is all your lovely faces on Backstage. Over here on this other side is the browser window where I am reading the email. So they are side by side on one monitor.
Right. See, I have on mine, on the big monitor, I have Twitch on one side, YouTube on the other, so I can monitor both. And then on the phone, this is where you get to see my lovely face. And then I have my computer right here, so it's like pop, pop, pop.
Yep. Of course, I also have a monitor over here, a monitor over here, a laptop down there, and a laptop down there. And Kesh has her iPad that she's typing on right there. Look, they said boys and their toys. They didn't say that you had to have a wee-wee to be a boy, and they didn't say that you had to, have cars as your toys. Oh,
You're right
did not.
there. Right there. Okay, because let's face it, give me a good side-by-side and an open fucking track of field, you're not seeing me for a couple of hours.
No, I know. I put my hand there because I didn't want you hitting your head. I'd rather you hit my hand than the desk.
Oh, okay.
She bent down.
No, that's actually a new, it's something we've always done. It's like, hey, when you notice somebody's going to bump their head, you put your hand there. So they don't. They put your hand and not your... And they were like, what did you do that for? Because I don't want you to bring yourself.
Yeah, this has more give than the wood.
But
yeah.
You know what? I've been around people that actually do that.
It's a side effect of having children.
Oh, I've definitely done it for my child.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
You just happened to walk in right as we were talking about something else, and I'm like, I do it as a side effect of having children.
Roasting people?
No, that's just my particular brand of mothering.
No, pulling her hair out.
Oh.
No.
You were going to pull your hair out anyway.
No, I was not. I like this shit.
You're anxious all the time.
That's why it's great.
Gee, I wonder why.
Anywho, no, here's what happened. She bent down, and then I immediately put my hand here, so that when she came up, she would hit my hand rather than.
Gotcha. Did anybody make dinner?
Yes, it's on the stove.
Awesome, because I was going to eat my fill of something. I wasn't sure if I needed to go cook something, and then I was going to have my ass directly on your screen while putting that up for you. I wanted food first.
There's the curtain.
What curtain?
That curtain.
Curtain, not carton. Sorry, I had cigarettes in the
Just so you know, I am just as chaotic with my children, my family, and my friends as I am in the Discord or on stream. Just so that we are all aware that what you see is what you get.
Equal opportunity chaos.
Yes. Okay, next up, go back to the email. We have another goodie. Ooh, fancy font. Ooh.
That's pretty.
That is pretty. I'm going to have them send me a DM with what that frickin' font is.
Me too. That.
Oh, I know y'all can't see this, but you know what? Just trust me, when it is elegant and yet mysterious and it's readable to top everything else off, it's beautiful. Oh, God. See? Okay, see? Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Bitzer. Junk is not mentioned at all. That is beautiful. Leave it to Bitzer K, aka Internetter, aka CM Weller. Okay, next up. Again, these stories shall not be used to train AI, and they belong to the currently anonymous submitters. Okay. This name gave me pause because I didn't see that it was an I. I thought it was an L, but we're not going to go there. So I'm going to say it one way, the way I prefer to say it currently, and then we're going to. I will probably get an email later going, "Hey, I prefer the other pronunciation, but it's fine." Kiara knew something was wrong the moment the birds went silent. The grove had always spoken to her, through wind in the leaves, the creak of bark settling at dawn, the low hum beneath her feet when roots drank deep. Even in pain, the forest made noise. Today it held its breath. She dropped her basket at the edge of the orchard and ran. The fruit trees lay ahead of her, twisted and torn, their branches split as if by a careless giant's hand. Apples lay crushed in the dirt, green skins split wide, flesh already browning. One young pear tree sagged at an unnatural angle, its roots ripped halfway from the soil, fine white threads exposed to air and sun. No, Kiara whispered, dropping to her knees. No, no, no. She pressed her palms into the earth, ignoring the cold, the grit beneath her nails. The soil felt wrong, dry where it should have been damp, sharp where it should have been soft. She could feel the trees shuddering under her touch, a low ache vibrating up through her bones. I'm here, she said, voice breaking. I'm here. I've got you. She worked quickly, instinctively, lifting, packing, coaxing roots back into the ground with shaking hands. She tore strips from her skirt to bind a split branch, whispered old, half-remembered words her grandmother used to murmur over sick plants. The grove did not answer. Her breath hitched. She leaned forward, forehead pressed against the rough bark of the pear tree, tears soaking into the lichen. I tried, she sobbed. I swear I tried. I am trying to save you. Please stay strong. A laugh cut through the stillness. High, sharp, delighted. I didn't expect it to work again. Kiara froze. Slowly she turned. Zura stood at the edge of the orchard, boots clean, cloak immaculate, dark hair pulled back from a face twisted into a smile that had never once known kindness. She held a small iron tool loosely in one hand, the same one Kiara had begged the council to ban from the grove after the first incident. You! Kiara's voice broke completely. You did this! Zura tilted her head, considering the destruction as one might admire a painting. You keep fixing them, she said lightly. I was curious how many times the landowner would let you. Kiara pushed herself to her feet, hands trembling, dirt streaking her cheeks. Why? She pleaded. What did they ever do to you? I didn't do it, dear sister. It was only a whisper, an eye flutter here, a flirt there. Zura's smile sharpened. It was nothing to have the dirty farmers help me. Kiara, I did this because the council chose you. Why would anyone want you? Or why anyone would want you, a tall, filthy, worthless thing like you. The words landed like a blow. Each tree that was damaged, Kiara looked deeper, seeing the ropes that were still attached to the oxen who uprooted them, holes where the hot iron was plunged through them. Every time the council walks the land, they look at you, Zura continued, circling slowly. The devoted little caretaker. The girl who cries over roots and rot. They don't see how foolish you are, how weak. She gestured toward the broken trees. This proves it. Kiara shook her head, tears spilling freely now. You're killing them. No, Zura corrected. I'm killing your chances. I am killing you. After I am done with you, no one will want you. The ground beneath Kiara's feet seemed to sink. You promised, Kiara whispered. You said you'd stop. I told you I would not seek the prince's hand. Zura laughed again, louder this time. And you believed me? Gods, Kiara, you're predictable. Now that you failed to save the royal woods, no one in the kingdom will want you. She turned on her heel, cloak snapping behind her. And by sundown, the landowner will see this. Another failure, another orchard lost under your watch. She paused, glancing back over her shoulder. How many chances do you think they'll give you before they decide the grove needs a stronger hand? When Zura was gone, the silence rushed back in, thick, suffocating. Kiara sank back to the ground. She cradled a fallen apple in her hands, thumb brushing the bruise where it had struck the earth. The fruit was still warm from the sun. I'm sorry, she whispered to the trees. I'm so sorry. The wind stirred then, not in comfort, but in warning. Deep beneath the soil, something old shifted, and far beyond the grove's edge, judgment was already on its way. The sun was already sinking when they came. Its light bled low and coppery through the wounded grove, catching on torn leaves and broken branches like fire trapped in glass. Kiara still knelt in the dirt when the voices reached her, measured, important, rehearsed. Footsteps followed. She looked up slowly, her eyes raw and swollen, hands stained dark with soil and sap. The council stood at the grove's edge in a neat line, cloaks pressed and clean, faces set into the solemn masks they wore whenever judgment was already decided. Beside them stood the landowner, broad and well-fed, his boots never once touching the broken earth. And just ahead of them all, Zura. Her sister's hand lifted, finger extending with theatrical precision. There, Zura said. Look for yourselves. The landowner's gaze swept the orchard. His mouth tightening. This is the third loss this season. Kiara staggered to her feet. Please, she said hoarsely. This wasn't neglect. I tried. You always say that, Zura interrupted smoothly. And yet every time we return, something else is ruined. She turned to the council, voice rising just enough to carry. Now the village will pay. Without these trees, winter stores will be thin. Children will go hungry. And all because she was too sentimental to do what needed to be done. Murmurs rippled through the council. Kiara's heart pounded. You know me, she pleaded. You know I've never taken from the land without giving back. I've worked this grove since I was a girl. The eldest councilman avoided her gaze. Intent does not replace outcome, Kiara. The landowner stepped forward. You were entrusted with stewardship. What I see is failure. Zura's lips curved. Councilman cleared his throat. By unanimous decision, you are stripped of all authority over the grove. Your title, your duties, your rank. Revoked. The words struck like stones. As owner of these lands, man added, voice flat, I am terminating your residence. You will vacate before nightfall. They turned and exited the grove. Kiara swayed. She didn't want to follow them, but her feet had other plans. Where am I supposed to go? She whispered. No one answered. Zura stepped closer, lowering her voice so only Kiara could hear. Oh, and one more thing. She smiled, slow and deliberate. Mother and father want nothing to do with you anymore. The world tilted. They said you bring nothing but trouble. Zura continued softly, that your obsession with dirt and dying trees embarrassed them. I agreed. Kiara took a step back. Her heel caught on a torn root. She fell hard, the breath knocked clean from her lungs, palms scraping against stone. Laughter didn't follow, only silence, worse than cruelty. She pushed herself up anyway, slowly, deliberately. Her legs trembled, but she stood. If you're finished, she said quietly, you should go. The grove doesn't need more harm tonight. Zura blinked, thrown for a moment by the lack of venom in her voice. You still claim to not be at fault, even with the proof right in front of you? The landowner scoffed. Unbelievable. You still stand here blaming Zura. Look at yourself, then look at her. She is clean, while you are as filthy as the sow you are. He turned away, cloak swirling, boots retreating without a backward glance. Zura lingered a heartbeat longer, savoring the moment, then followed, her smile sharp enough to cut. When they were gone, darkness settled quickly. The air was cold, even for the summer months. It was void of warmth and love. Kiara gathered what little she could carry: a worn satchel, a blanket, a small knife she used for pruning. She paused at the edge of the grove, fingers brushing the bark of the nearest tree. I'll still come back, she whispered. I don't need permission to care. The wind stirred faintly, leaves rustling as though answering. She stepped onto the road alone, banished from her home, her family, her village. Two tall shadows walked up the path to her. By decree of the land baron, you must leave and never return. If you do... The man took a deep breath. Kiara, just go. Never return. Because I do not want to say what the punishment would be if you are caught. He tossed her a small bag of coins. I pray this helps. It is the last thing your mother could give you. Kiara walked until the sky went from copper to bruised violet. She passed the first village without stopping. Lamps glowed behind windows. Voices drifted through open doors, and the smell of bread made her stomach knot painfully. But she did not slow. She had already been cast out once. She would not beg for warmth from those who had watched and done nothing. By the time she reached the second village, night had settled fully. Dogs barked at her passing. Someone muttered a curse when she paused too long near a well. She took a drink only when no one was looking, whispering thanks to the stone, as if it could hear her. Beyond that, the road narrowed. Hedges grew wild. Trees leaned closer together, their branches tangling overhead like clasped fingers. The forest there was thinner, but it was still listening. Kiara left the road and followed a deer path until the sounds of people faded completely. Her legs ached. Her hands trembled with exhaustion, but she kept moving until she found a hollow between two roots large enough to shelter her from the wind. She curled there, cloak wrapped tight, hunger gnawing at her belly. Sleep came in pieces, broken by cold, by memory, by the echo of Zura's smile. At dawn, she woke to silence. Not the wounded silence of the grove she'd lost, but something gentler, expectant. Kiara rose stiffly and took in her surroundings. The trees here bore old scars, hacked limbs, shallow cuts in bark, signs of careless passing. Nettles choked a stream that should have run clear. A young ash leaned badly, its roots exposed where rain had washed the earth away. Even with the pain and devastation, hope prevailed. She sighed. I suppose you'll do, she murmured, as if the forest might argue. She spent the day as she always had, without title, without permission. She cleared debris from the stream. She packed soil back around the ash's roots, bracing it with fallen stone. She whispered, apologies to trees she could not save, and gratitude to those that still stood. When hunger became too sharp to ignore, she gathered what little the land offered: blackberries left too long on the vine, bitter greens most people overlooked. She left half of what she found behind, even when no one was there to see. By evening, her hands were blistered, her body shaking with fatigue. Still, she worked, because care was not something she did for reward. It was who she was. Yet even as her shoulders shook and tears slid silently down her face, she bent to right a fallen sapling along the path, pressing its roots gently back into the soil. Because even now, she chose kindness, and the forest remembered. The old forest did not remember loudly. It did not rise or strike or reclaim. It listened, deep within the older trees, far beneath bark thickened by centuries. Something stirred. Fionn had been aware of her long before she understood why. At first, she was only a disturbance, a shift in rhythm, a mortal presence moving differently than others did. Slower, careful, as if the ground beneath her mattered. He felt her before he saw her, a warmth pressing faintly against the edges of his awareness. Most humans passed like weather. She did not. From within the heartwood of his tree, Fionn felt her kneel, felt the tremor in her hands as she packed soil back around a wounded sapling, felt the hush she brought with her, not silence, but restraint, as though she knew the land was already hurting and chose not to add her voice to its pain. She spoke then, not to him, not to the spirits, perhaps not even to the tree. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I know it hurts. I'll try to make it easier." The words slid through the soil and into his roots. Fionn stilled. He had heard prayers before, demands, bargains, promises spoken only when watched. But this was different. There was no expectation in her voice, no request for favor, only acknowledgement. She did not ask the land to give. She gave first. Fionn pressed, cautiously, against the boundary of his tree. It was not a movement, not as mortals understood it, but a reaching, a testing of old limits. His awareness stretched outward through rings and resin, through roots braided with those of neighboring trees. He felt the blister on her palm when she lifted a stone too heavy for her, felt the hitch in her breath when hunger gnawed and she chose to leave berries behind anyway, felt the exhaustion in her bones as she straightened a sapling she had no claim to. Why? The question formed slowly, unused to shape. No one had taught her to do this. No law bound her to the land. No reward waited for jobs unseen. Fionn felt something tighten inside the wood. Recognition. Not of her name, not of her face. No, this was something bigger. It was of her nature. She was not a heartless taker, nor was she a conqueror. She was a keeper of what is right and good. She was balance. When she finally stood and brushed the dirt from her skirts, the wind stirred, not summoned, not commanded, but responding. Leaves rustled softly, brushing against one another like shared breath. Kiara paused. She turned her head slightly, as if she had almost heard something. Fionn retreated instinctively, drawing himself back into the stillness of the tree. He did not want to be seen. Not yet. Dryads learned patience the way roots learned stone. Slowly, by necessity, but something had changed. Where the forest had once endured, it now noticed. Where Fionn had once slept, bound in old watchfulness, he now waited. Not for her return, but for the day the forest would ask him to step closer. And for the first time in longer than he could remember, the waiting did not feel like burden. It felt like meaning. Dun, dun, dun. Oh,
Do fucking what?
Holy fucking shit. This is submitter 3, right?
Submitter 3.
Yeah. So, no.
That
Yes. No.
fantastic.
Was it 3 or 4?
Hold on one moment.
I think this is 3.
This is 3.
Yeah. 3. This is
Holy
3.
Holy fuck.
You have got to be frigging kidding me. That's
I don't even know what to say about that one. Other than
wow.
I need that book now.
Keisha's over there like, turn off. She's gonna in a minute, like, no whammy. Holy shit balls.
I believe there's a show called Dinosaur. Not the mama. Not the mama.
Not the mama.
Not the mama.
But that poetic. I think that's really the only thing coming to mind right now. It's poetic. There's a lot going on, but in 2,500 words, it's like, oh, what? You did what? To who? No. Yes? What the fuck? That is definitely some shit right there.
It'll be interesting to see where this goes.
It is. It's gonna definitely be interesting to see where it goes from the submitter. Also, what is gonna also be interesting is if this submitter actually submits for the entire month under this particular story. Because that's the great thing about January is you don't have to do that. You can do that. You don't have to do that. But yeah, I'm with Bitzer. Damn.
Yeah, use this month to establish seeds of stories you maybe wouldn't write otherwise. If you want to do one, do one. If you want to go with multiple, go with multiple. Do what. Use it to your advantage.
Essentially, if you've had like 4 or 5 different ideas running around in your head and you're not sure what kind of, does this have play and you're looking for that anonymous, throw all 5 of them at us, one right after another, week after week. Boom.
I'm flabbergasted.
You're flabbergasted? You know what?
I'm flabbergasted.
The prose. The freaking prose, the way I could literally, now again, this comes from being a farmer, but like the fact that yes, dirt that is too dry is sharp. It's not soft. And those details were in there, and I mean the only thing that it was really missing was the sense of scent, right? Smell. There wasn't as much in there. But at the same time, you could see and feel and hear, right? And it takes a lot to make an immersive thing, with that rich of a world to get all those different senses in and immerse the reader into it. But good God, I almost could hear birds in my head.
I can almost hear the leaves
Mm-hmm.
and how they whisper when the wind blows.
Yeah. I want more. I want more.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole and somebody else pushing, Leon.
That's not
A television addiction? That's what he's saying.
Yeah, I know.
How is that not okay? I don't want to know. Any hoozle.
I'm just saying.
I think it's because Patrick made a dinosaurs reference, but he said dinosaur instead of dinosaurs, and
I know.
then
I can.
yeah,
I can read.
okay,
I have eyes.
I'm tired. Leave me alone.
not the
Otherwise,
moment.
I'm going to take my wiffle bat and go read.
Yes, Spitzer, absolutely. Equal parts fairy tale, romance, and myth. That dang. It's like this already just in this what under 2,500 words, right? We've got some kind of political structure happening, right? There's a prince, there's landowners, there's the fact that we've got two sisters who could not be more different, right? And still a mean girl, but this time I don't know why, but I felt like this deeper, huskier, like you thought, you know?
You went literally more evil stepsister than mean girl.
I know, but what I'm saying is that the surroundings of what led up to Zura's introduction made me think it would be almost a medieval mean girl, but one with class and high society. And
Right.
who's gonna want something like you? It's those same words, but at the same time, like due to the environment that we got to before that point, it felt like it needed to be more highbrow mean girl.
Right.
Mean girl.
Right.
Streaming exists. When you watched it.
Could you all have that conversation privately? Argue on your own time.
Tried to give him an out and he's not taking it.
Fuck! Leon's the male me! Fuck!
What did I miss? I was reading comments.
I have no idea. She just yelled in my ear.
You were saying you are in the blast zone, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Soon as Izzy is done having her existential crisis, she'll be back and we will be able to continue on with the show of submission number 4.
She just made the realization I made a little while ago.
When she said I'm trying to give him an out and he's not taking it, it occurred to me the number of times that she's fucking said that to me, and I went, shit. Leon and I are the male and female versions of the same person. Fuck.
Are you Gemini?
No.
Don't rattle that cage. Don't rattle. She's already rattled. Don't rattle that cage.
Too late.
Don't do it. Negative Ghost Rider.
On that note.
On that note, I think it's a good time to stretch,
Hold
posture
on.
check, hydrate,
Hydrate.
anything, everything. Um,
You know it's bad when Izzy goes off camera and it goes to her icon.
yep, yep. It is. But we will get through this. This is the best way we can. How's everybody enjoying the show so far? Just
We've got some really good ones this week.
we did. And you know what? I'm glad everybody is relieving from their comfort zones with this particular challenge. Because that's what I see a lot of is people leaving their comfort zones. I think it's amazing. I am so here for it. Loving it. Just loving it. On other notes, while we're waiting on Izzy, is there anything that we need to talk about? I say that and I look up and Patrick's gone. The cue, we're not so different speech. Huh? Fitzer, you're gonna have to be a little more specific there, bud. The lag is bad today. I'm so sorry. Hopefully everything will be better tomorrow. But, you know, what is a Saturday night without some scuff? Yes, Hunter. And I'm just left here by my widow lonesome. I'm so lonesome I could cry. Not really. Patrick's gonna put us on the floor. Hey, we fell down here.
Help, I've fallen and I can't get up. No, I'm actually sorting out my bags.
Okay. Now she's waving it because she can't get it turned back on. Go more toward the
There we go.
There you go.
Now that I've embarrassed myself trying to turn the thing back on, I don't think I'm seeing this conversation.
You know she's mad when she can't spell right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to say that it's wrong. They have a lot of personality traits in common, which is probably why they keep
bombarding,
bumping heads, whatever. I am disturbed on so many levels.
That doesn't explain one thing. I mean, it explains it, but it doesn't explain it. We'll talk about that offline, not online.
Absolutely. Please and thank you. Next up, again,
Submission number 4.
submission number 4.
Do I need to get a whiteboard? We'll talk about that off work.
Oh, and that was entitled "The Wounded Grove," by the way. I was distracted by the pretty font. Okay. Next up, rooms you can't enter. I didn't want to follow them, but my feet had other plans. That was how it always began, his body committing treason before his mind could assemble a half-decent excuse. Elias Crow watched the candlelight drift down the hallway ahead of him, a slow, deliberate lure, its flame bending as though aware of being observed. Tension seemed to inhale as he stepped forward, wood sighing beneath his boots, walls inching closer, as if the house itself leaned in to listen. Fantastic, Elias muttered. Follow the spooky lights. That's how everyone lives long enough to collect a pension. The front door slammed shut behind him. The sound was enormous, like a thunderclap trapped indoors. Dust shook loose from the ceiling and drifted down like ash. Elias flinched, then let out a breath and rubbed his face. Okay, he said to no one. We're doing this. 3 days earlier, the letter had arrived. Thick, cream-colored paper, elegant typeface, the kind of envelope that implied money and secrets in equal measure. You are the sole heir to the estate of Malcolm Crow. No apology, no explanation, just a lawyer's name and the casual revelation that the man who had vanished from Elias's life before he could form memories had owned a mansion large enough to qualify as its own weather system. Elias had done what any emotionally well-adjusted adult would do, and tried to throw the letter away. Failed, retrieved it from the trash, stared at it for an hour, then drove 6 hours into the mountains while rehearsing every possible way this could go wrong. Now he was here. The foyer stretched upward into darkness, a chandelier hanging like the fossilized remains of a sun. Doors lined the walls, dozens of them, each sealed with elaborate locks. The ironwork curled into shapes that looked disturbingly like faces mid-scream. From behind every door came a whisper. Not words, emotions. Grief thrummed low and heavy behind one door, thick enough to taste. Rage scratched and pounded behind another, sharp and impatient. Fear breathed, shallow and wet, as if crouched in a corner, counting Elias's steps. Shame didn't whisper at all. It rattled its door violently, desperate to be acknowledged. Elias swallowed. As an artist, he was no stranger to feelings. He made his living paintings of what people preferred to ignore. Loneliness rendered as empty diners, despair as half-packed apartments. One critic had called his work brilliantly miserable, which Elias assumed was praise. This, however, felt excessive. At the far end of the hall stood a single open door. Warm light spilled from it, steady and inviting in the way traps often are. Elias approached despite himself. His instincts screamed, no. His feet replied, too late. Inside was a studio. His studio. Same skylight angle, same paint-splattered floorboards, same easel with the cracked leg he'd never bothered to fix. Against the far wall stood an unfinished canvas, a self-portrait abandoned years ago because the eyes looked too honest. The air smelled of turpentine and smoke. Elias stared. Okay, he said quietly. Either I'm hallucinating, or my father spent decades stalking me through time and space. I don't love either option. The whispering behind him stopped. The studio door creaked shut. The floor lurched. The mansion groaned, a deep, wounded sound that traveled through the walls like a dying animal's last breath. Somewhere above, plaster cracked. Dust drifted down. Voice echoed through the room. Not a whisper, but clear and familiar. Welcome home, son. Elias laughed. The sound came out sharp and hysterical, like the laugh of a man cornered by the universe's worst punchline. Of course, he said. The haunted house talks. Why wouldn't it? The voice chuckled. You always did use humor as armor. Oh, wow, Elias shot back. You disappear for 35 years and come back with therapy insights? Bold move. Silence stretched, heavy and watchful. You can leave whenever you want, the voice said at last. Relief flared in Elias's chest, brief and reckless. All you have to do, the voice continued pleasantly, is open every door. The relief died, choking. Elias turned slowly, taking in the walls, the ceiling, the familiar ghosts of his own life. And let me guess, he said, there's a catch. No, the voice replied. There are consequences. A lock clicked. Wet. Organic. The doors in the hall shuddered and swung open. The emotion behind it surged outward, screaming. Something crawled through. It wore Elias's face at 22 years old, gaunt, hollow-eyed, hands trembling with the memory of failure. Its body was stitched together from canvas and wire, paint smeared across its skin like bruises that never healed. It dragged an easel leg behind it, splintered and sharp. Hello, burnout, Elias whispered. The creature shrieked and charged. Elias ran. He sprinted down the hallway, lungs burning, boots pounding against the floor as doors rattled and begged around him. The whispers rose into a cacophony, pleading, accusing, screaming his name. Not today, he gasped. Preferably not ever. He slammed into a locked door at random, fumbling with the handle. Come on! The lock dissolved beneath his fingers, melting away like wax. The door flew open. Cold swallowed him. The room was an endless frozen lake, ice stretching to the horizon beneath a colorless sky. Cracks webbed the surface, groaning under his weight. At the center of the lake stood a figure frozen mid-drown. His mother. Eyes wide, mouth open, reaching. The memory hit him like a fist. He was 12 again, standing at the edge of a frozen pond, watching another boy plunge through the ice. He remembered the screaming, the hesitation, the moment where he could have turned and run. Instead, he'd gone forward. He remembered numb hands, burning lungs, the weight of another life dragging him under. He remembered pulling the boy free while adults shouted from the shore. Later, the boy's father had grabbed Elias's shoulders, sobbing, promising him anything, everything. The creature burst into the room behind him, skidding onto the ice. The lake cracked. Elias tried to reach his mother, but the ice gave way. Freezing water swallowed him, dragged him down. Hands clawed at his coat. Hers, his, he couldn't tell. He kicked and thrashed, screaming into water that tasted like regret. When he surfaced, gasping, the room shattered like glass. Elias collapsed back into the hallway, soaked and shaking. The creature was gone. So was the door. In its place lay ash. Smoke curled along the ceiling now, thick and bitter. Flames licked at the walls farther down the hall. Elias stared at the fire, chest heaving. Okay, he whispered. So the house is on fire. Love that for us. He forced himself upright. Room by room, he fought. Rage wore his father's face and swung a belt forged from iron. Fear became an endless apartment hallway where doors slammed shut just out of reach. Shame took the shape of every unfinished canvas he'd abandoned, their blank eyes accusing. And he failed. In the room of guilt, he tried to save the child version of himself from a collapsing staircase. He didn't make it. The sound of the fall followed him back into the hall, echoing long after the door sealed shut. Elias screamed. He kicked the door until his foot bled. He begged. He raged. Nothing. The mansion shook harder now, flames crawling faster, the whispers turning frantic. You can't skip it, the voice said gently. You never could. Elias slid down the wall, collapsing amid smoke and debris. His hands trembled. His lungs burned. I tried, he rasped. I really did. Trying. the voice replied, quieter now, isn't the same as finishing. Elias laughed weakly. Story of my life. That was when he felt it. The heat. Not from the flames, from himself. His hands glowed faintly, embers drifting from his skin. The fire pulled toward him, fed by something deeper than wood and paint. I'm burning it, he whispered. Yes, the voice said. You always have. Every abandoned painting, every relationship scorched by distance, every time he chose destruction over endurance because it hurt less to burn than to stay. The mansion wasn't killing him. He was killing it. And if it collapses, Elias said, I die with it. A pause. Unless you stop running. The final door stood at the end of the hall. No whispers, no lock, just silence. Elias dragged himself forward and opened it. Inside was a small room, a chair, a man sitting in it. His father. Malcolm Crowe looked older than Elias had imagined. Smaller, afraid. I didn't expect it to work again, Malcolm said softly. Elias stared at him. Work how? You saving someone, Malcolm said. His voice trembled with something that sounded uncomfortably close to pride. You always did. The truth settled into Elias like a weight. He saw it all at once. The anonymous checks, the second chances, the way his failures never quite stuck. Malcolm had taken a childhood act of heroism and turned it into a leash. You didn't save me, Elias said quietly. You trapped me. The room began to crumble. Elias stepped back, not to forgive, not to rescue, to let go. The fire dimmed. The mansion groaned, then stilled. Elias woke on the front steps at dawn, smoke drifting into a pale sky. Behind him, the mansion was a blackened ruin. He laughed, breathless and broken. Guess I finally finished something, he said. For the first time, the silence didn't whisper back. The silence held. Elias lay there longer than necessary, staring at the thinning smoke as if it might change its mind and start speaking again. When it didn't, when the quiet remained stubbornly ordinary, he pushed himself up on aching arms and laughed once more, this time softer, disbelieving. The front steps were cold as stone, real and solid. No breathing walls, no listening doors. Behind him, the mansion sagged in on itself with a final, tired sigh. A section of roof collapsed inward, sending up a puff of ash like a reluctant ghost waving goodbye. Whatever had lived there, whatever had fed there, was done. Elias stood, swaying slightly. His clothes were scorched and damp, his hands still warm in a way that had nothing to do with the rising sun. He flexed his fingers, half expecting burrs. Nothing. A car crumbled on gravel behind him. Elias turned, shoulders tensing, then relaxing as a familiar, utterly mundane vehicle rolled to a stop. A woman stepped out, clipboard in hand, wearing hiking boots and the expression of someone who had driven a long way for a very strange job. Mr. Crow, she called. I'm from the estate office. We received reports. Elias snorted. Let me guess. Structural instability? Fire hazard? Possible haunting? She hesitated. We don't usually put that last one in writing. He gestured vaguely at the ruins. House won't be a problem anymore. They stood there for a moment, both looking at the wreckage. The woman cleared her throat. There's still paperwork, she said. The land, what remains of the property. Donate it, Elias said immediately. She blinked. I'm sorry? Wildlife Trust. Or burn it down properly and turn it into a trailhead. Somewhere people can walk through without baggage. He met her eyes. No names on it. She studied him, then nodded slowly. All right. When she left, the quiet returned, but this time it felt earned. Weeks later, Elias stood in his studio, his real studio, smaller than the one the house had copied, messier, with a window that rattled when trucks passed outside. Sunlight spilled across the floor, catching on dried paint and dust. An empty canvas waited on the easel. He stared at it longer than was comfortable. The old urge crept in, the itch to walk away before the first stroke could disappoint him, before it could demand endurance instead of impulse. Elias inhaled, stayed. He didn't paint fire, or doors, or faces screaming behind iron locks. He painted a hallway. Plain, narrow, unremarkable. At the end of it, a door stood open, not glowing, not ominous, just open. Light fell through it, soft and incomplete, as if the room beyond hadn't been finished yet. When he finally stepped back, his hands shook, not with fear, but with the unfamiliar strain of having finished. Elias laughed under his breath. Huh. He titled it, Rooms You Can Enter. The critics would have opinions, they always did. Some would call it restrained, others would say it lacked his old intensity, his edge. They weren't wrong. Intensity burns fast, endurance lasts. That night, as Elias locked up the studio and walked into the cooling air, he felt something brush the edge of his awareness. Not a whisper, not a command, just the sense of a closed door, finally staying closed. And for once, he didn't feel the need to open it. Dun dun dun.
That was intense. I like it.
Yeah. That was very intense. Oof.
I think I was holding my breath through most of that. I'm not even going to lie about it. I know you were the one reading it, but it's like I literally was holding my breath through most of it.
Yeah. That I could easily see that being made into like a movie or something. You know what I'm saying? Like someone could pick that up and do like that.
My heart is pounding in my chest.
Just brava. I mean, literally, but I was wow. Just wow.
The manifestation of emotions and all the things that contribute to, like, let's say, I don't know, imposter syndrome, like regret, shame, disappointment, guilt, like all of those things. I like the guy's sense of humor. Elias, great. Haunted house talks. Love that for us. That level.
It's the of course it fucking talks because why the fuck wouldn't it type of deal. And even though he even says that, I was like, of course the haunted house talks. Why wouldn't it fucking talk? Why would I have to guess what the haunted house is trying to say to me?
Yep.
It has a lot of snark.
Yes.
And I'm interested to see what this particular submitter does.
Also, it kind of feels like a short story.
Yes.
Like, expand it out just a little bit more because short story, like this is more micro fiction length, but get it up
Mhm.
there to 5K, and you've got a nice little short story, like something that Dahlia or Shar does with um their published works, some of theirs, you know.
I mean,
It's
Star did
a whole book of nothing
a
but
whole ghost book.
yeah.
Also available on Amazon, but not in the ebook version.
Yep, nope. Got to go to someplace like Kobo
Yeah, I believe it's on Kobo.
for ebook form. Me personally, I'm going to you can take my physical books out of my cold dead hand. Just saying.
Right. No, I'm with you on that. But I'm flabbergasted. This is the second or third one that has flabbergasted me.
Yeah. Holy crap.
This is going to be a very interesting month. I mean, it was interesting when you gave us that challenge. It was very interesting you gave us that challenge. It's even more interesting now because, you know, you've got Leon over here in the comments literally giving commentary like, no, this sounds like this person. I'm pretty sure it's he's like I'm pretty sure it's that. And of course I'm just sitting over here going, well, it's not the
It's
spider.
it's not the spider story.
It's
But
not the
but I mean, it's because we've got new submitters and new this and new that, and um for the record, for this weekend, we do have two new to us submitters. So that's gonna throw a lot of shit in a wrench in the works as well. Um so yeah, it's given this anonymous take is giving more people the cojones to freaking go, let me throw mine in.
Oh yeah, let me throw my hat in the ring.
I love it.
And I'm so proud of what's been accomplished. I mean, we couldn't have had a better, and we still got two more submissions, or three more submissions for tonight, before we do the roll and we call it quits, and then we'll be back again tomorrow night.
The two of us, I'm definitely the louder. Yes, hello burnout. That was a good one. All right. Moving right along to another submission. No title here. But that's okay. That's okay. You don't have to title things at the beginning. I was being chased by a creature I can only describe as a demon. As you can guess, I was caught. But let me start from the beginning. It all started when I found this book in an old barn at the very back of my property. It was an old, leather-bound book. The pages were yellowed and brittle. I was afraid it was going to fall apart in my hands. I found it interesting. It looked to have been written in a foreign language. I had no idea that it was an old magic book that had been banned in my area, and later I found out why. I was fooling around with it and I inadvertently summoned something that did not want to be summoned. And that's how I was being chased by the demon. It chased me through the woods. It took its time following me. I now know he was toying with me. It was trying to wear me out to make it easier for him to get me, and I was caught when I tripped over a fallen tree. Once he had me, he said, I do not have time to deal with you. And he killed me. Not quickly, but not slow either. Now, I know what you're thinking. If I'm dead, how can I be telling my story? Well, apparently, I had been discovered by an amateur wizard who felt that he needed to practice his reincarnation spell. And I was his unwitting victim, and here I am. I traveled with this wizard, learning some basic spells from him, and I showed him where I hid the book. The wizard looked shocked and surprised, and that's when I found out the book was banned because it was dark magic, and dark magic is illegal. I didn't know it was illegal. I found it in an old barn. I was going to be tearing it down, I argued. I should turn you in for this, the wizard yelled back at me. I thought of something. Isn't reincarnating the dead dark magic? I could turn you in for that. He started to sputter something and then decided to say, fine, we're not going to turn each other in. We hid the book again and left without saying much to each other for a long time. We continued to travel the country. We mostly stayed in the woods and back roads of small towns. One night, while sitting around the fire, I decided that I was going to ask him about why he was traveling. I was surprised to hear that he was running from his mentor. Because his mentor wanted him dead for stealing some of his darker spells, he initially was going to turn his mentor in, but he found out the spells that he took came in quite handy. Unfortunately, he was having a hard time repeating them. I can't really repeat them, he said, without there being a great amount of time between each time I do the spell. I've discovered that each spell takes a lot of energy, especially my reincarnation spell. I've only been able to do it once. The wizard looked a bit sheepish. So you experimented on me by using your reincarnation spell? I asked, almost angry. I was your guinea pig? How did you know it was going to work? I didn't know it was going to work, but it did. You're here, he answered, smiling. I just nodded and watched the fire, thinking, I don't know if it was better or not to be alive at this point because the demon was still out there, and when he found out I was alive, he might not take it very well. In our travels, we ended up back where he initially found me, and sitting where my body was, there sat the demon. He looked surprised when he saw me. How did you get reincarnated? I put a spell to keep you from being reincarnated, he growled. I pointed to the wizard and said, he brought me back. You! The demon shouted. I have been searching for you, my dear apprentice. I turned to the wizard. This is your mentor? I thought I summoned him. I pointed at the demon. The demon laughed. No, you puny human. I was searching for my cowardly apprentice who stole my book. I turned back to the wizard. You stole that book I found and let me believe I summoned your mentor? You used a spell out of that book and brought me back. The wizard was too scared to answer. The demon reached out and grabbed his apprentice and did very unspeakable things to him until he was no longer breathing. He picked up the book that I found that apparently his apprentice stole and looked at me and said, I can try to bring them back, but I doubt it would work again. I just shrugged my shoulders and said, I didn't think it would work again anyway. The demon nodded and said, since you allowed me to find my book and brought back the coward that I was trying to teach, I will let you live. But beware, if you mess up, I will be back, and I will enjoy ending your life, and there will be no bringing you back again. I reached my hand out to the demon. Deal. The demon shook my hand, and we went our separate ways. Dun, dun, dun.
We've all seen Supernatural. We've all seen Supernatural. You never make deals with demons.
No, you don't. But the whole thing is the funny part is, how did you know it was going to work? I didn't. I fucking didn't. It worked. You're here, but I didn't know it was going to work. And honestly, what would it fucking matter if it didn't work? You still wouldn't be here. Unless you ended up an animated zombie, and then there would be a problem.
It was dark and twisted and yet funny and humorous and cute all at the same time.
mean, the one-liners. The fucking one-liners.
I know. Good.
I'm sitting over here like, this is supposed to be serious, but I'm laughing my ass off.
That was great. That was a really good one. The humor, just so
tongue-in-cheek, smartassery.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, it kind of sounds like me with the dialogue. Like me personally. Not necessarily the way I write, but me personally. It sounds like somebody was channeling me.
Yeah.
Are you the demon, Izzy?
I'm a demon. Not necessarily this demon, but I am a demon.
Yeah.
Okay. Where's the circle of salt?
Actually, so speaking of circles of salt, right? So I wrote 2026 on a Post-it note and I stuck it on the kitchen island. Okay. And then my kid, my youngest spawn, is looking at me going, "What are you doing?" And I refuse to answer him, right? So I then go into the spice cabinet, I pull it out, and I grab the salt. And I shake salt in a perfect circle around the Post-it note. This goes, "Okay, I get what you're doing, but did you forget that we live with feline terrorists?" So I reach into the microwave and I pull out the microwave shield and I stick it on top of it, completely encompassing the Post-it note and the salt. And he goes, "Okay, again, cats?" So I come in here, and as I come walking out past him, tearing open the duct tape, he goes, "I fucking knew it." And I duct taped that bitch to the counter. And it is still there.
I mean, you're not wrong. But that is one way to say you're not. It's like that is one way to say, come in, sit down, shut the fuck up, and if you are nice and you do not fuck up, I will take one piece of duct tape off at a time.
Oh, God. Leon, crap, that also sounds like Izzy, but I already have her at number 3. Oh, Leon took you seriously. Like, he's got a list.
Well, no, I told everybody because, we're not giving up who's who until like February 1st. So if you want to play the game individually, get out your paper and keep your running totals of who you think is who, and then we will see if you are right.
I think what they should do is they should join us on our Discord page and put their predictions, post their prediction sheets every week.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
And see how they change.
Ooh, there is January Fresh Ink is its own channel.
Yes.
And if you sit
that way
there,
you all can,
and you could put, right now we're at what? 13 or 14?
14.
14 submitters. And so we're gonna, go ahead, predictions after show 1. Number 1, this person. Number 2, this person. Number 3, this person. And then each week. Hey, that'd be fun.
Oh yeah, because then we'll all get a chuckle.
Yeah, absolutely. And people can sit there and snicker behind, their anonymity, and go hee 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 hee. Now, obviously, the 3 of us can't play because we
technically the 5 of us can't play, but we can sit back here and chuckle.
But Patrick doesn't get into the email, so Patrick doesn't know whose is whose.
Correct.
So technically, if Patrick wanted to play, Patrick could play. And technically, Shar, who only gets into the email if she's reading that night, could technically
True.
play.
Yep, technically she did.
If she does get into the email, she's no longer qualified. She's disqualified from future guessing.
Right.
I voluntarily disqualify myself just because sometimes I pop in and we're in conversation.
Yes, I understand, but technically, you could.
Technically, I could.
But I think Leon's missing the point. Getting a little defensive there. Getting a little defensive there, sis. I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole and somebody else pushing. Okay, next up, we got 2 more. So let's get going. We're 30 minutes to 11 my time.
Right.
Once again, do not use our voices or these words to train AI. Thank you. Come up with your own fucking story. I didn't expect it to work again, but it did. I had pulled the flux capacitor from the singularity drive. I cleaned it, pulled the small spokes back together, and put it back into its slot. That's when I ran back up to the bridge, jumped into the helm position, and punched in the coordinates for home. The course I picked was going to take us near the Epsilon Bote system, home of a primordial black hole that's great for doing velocity slingshots. The gravity assist being a big help in getting your ship to just under light speed. Just what we needed to get us back to the galactic core worlds and the Starlight Empire. I looked over my shoulder as GRUNT-02 ran up the stairs into the bridge, coming to a sudden stop just short of the commander's chair. Watching as I steered the ship to face the right direction for the singularity drive to take us out of the situation we had found ourselves in. Strap yourself in. Oh! O2? No, hold on. Strap yourself in, O2. It's going to be a bumpy ride. We called each other by the numbers from our designations because that's all we knew each other by. They called me 14 because mine was GRUNT-14. It was plausible deniability for the mission we had been assigned to, giving both of us the anonymity to go back into our units and continue with our service. That was if we could make it home. That all relied on if my fix to the capacitor held. I prayed to the Starlight Empress that everything held. She did not favor us. My repair couldn't have failed at the worst time. If I hadn't been in the Imperial forces, if I hadn't been programmed the way I was after basic, if I was the way I was when I was a child, I would have broken into tears. The Corsair lurched, throwing both of us forward. Between the safety features of our armor and the emergency netting installed in the benches, we were protected from the high gravity impact caused by the small ship's sudden stop. After momentum had let up, the ship automatically released the harnesses that had prevented us from hitting the forward viewports. 1-4! What the fuck is happening? The deadpan electronic voice that came from the mask on their helmet concealed everything identifiable about O2. Mine was the same, back to that plausible deniability principle. I'm not sure, I replied. I looked over my shoulder again, reaching for one of the other panels, reading the screen and jumping from the seat, running back down to the engine room. I slammed my palm on the emergency release for the entry for the portal leading to the apparatus at the heart of our vessel. I inhaled deeply as I saw the acrid black smoke coming from deep within the machine. The flux capacitor had blown, leaving us dead in space. My heart dropped to the pit of my stomach as I stared into the destroyed mechanism. I dreaded that I was going to have to tell O2 that we might have to launch a distress beacon. I just hoped that the SOS was intercepted by a friendly ship. I punched the bulkhead, triggering the ship's AI to blare her alert klaxon. Clear panels slid down in front of all the doors that I could see, followed by one that slid in from the side through one of the support arches between the engineering section and the hall that led to the rest of the ship. I was trapped, hoping that I would have a chance to talk to the ship's AI before she radiated me in my power armor. Intruder on the engineering deck, the steady, cold, feminine voice announced. Harriet, there's no intruder. It's me. I'm sorry. I forgot I'm not supposed to hit the bulkheads. I'm not used to being on an AI run vessel. I addressed her, hoping she could hear me over the alarm. 4. I hear you. If you would, could you remove your right glove and place it on the scanner plate next to the door to engineering? Her disembodied voice filtered through the corridor, making the emptiness of the ship feel even more palpable. Right, I replied, as I looked at the scanner embedded in the wall, pressing my hand onto the glassy surface. Identity confirmed. Both handprint and DNA scan match designation GRUNT14. Harriet then pulled up the sealer panels covering the doors and in the corridor, allowing me to make my way back toward the bridge level to update O2 on the situation. Again, I prayed to the Empress for help. Again, I ran up the steel grating that made the steps to the bridge and the navigation module. O2 was casually lounging in the command chair waiting for me. The engine is fucked. The flux capacitor is shot. I would expect it to take at least 3-4 days minimum for Harriet to print the parts for a new one, but there's also smoke damage in engineering. I'm going to have to take a look at the damage once she's suppressed the fire. I looked up at them, glad they couldn't see the worry I felt weighing my soul down. How? I thought you had that handled. I thought you had the engine repairs under control. You said you were going to get us home. Despite the delivery of the voice synthesizer, their body language told me of their irritation. I knew it was going to be a long night. I didn't want to follow them, but my feet had other plans. My company was on shore leave. We had been taken to one of the climate-controlled planets run by the Imperial Navy, a planet known for its humid nights that inspired members of the Imperial Infantry to try and out-compete each other on who could tastefully wear the least amount of clothing. It wasn't an official competition, but it was taken very seriously by everyone visiting the planet. Cian, where'd you get that? He was one of the officers from another company attached to my battalion. His name was Garrett. He pointed to the drink in my hand, the long, narrow, cylindrical flute filled with fluorescent green liquid catching his eye. Over there! I pointed to one of the oversized cabana bars that served high-potency alcohol to anyone wanting it. He gently pulled the glass from my fingers, taking a sip and smiling. That's nice. Would you like another? I'd like to buy you a drink. He placed his arm behind me, resting his firm hand on my hip and flexing his fingers in a way that felt really good on my skin. But that was the point. Once we hit dirt, all rank was forgotten, our only mission being to drink and fuck ourselves stupid after being pulled from the front lines.
Methinks I know who this is.
I hope that's not all of it. Like, I hope he didn't. Yeah. Sorry. Oh, good grief. Okay. Yeah.
Haven't had enough alcohol for this yet. Yes, I'd like that, I answered as the two of us walked over to the bar where I had originally ordered. I stood behind him as he asked for 2 more glasses of the sweet green liqueur. Garrett handed me the one with a little bit more than his. Of course he did. He always did. To a great night, he toasted, the wide, toothy smile he favored me with getting me to blush for him. There you go, Cyan. That's my girl. That smile is 1 in a million Imperial Marines. That smile is one a million Imperial Marines would march against the Star Union forces for. He leaned in, brushing his lips against mine. I felt my face grow warm as I blushed more. Garrett, you do this every shore leave. What is this thing you have over me? I asked him, hanging my arm over his shoulder, my finger lightly brushing the neural port situated on his spine between his scapula. The same port all Imperial forces had, including me. After we finished our drinks, he picked me up by wrapping an arm around my waist, our lips meeting again as he initiated a more full, heavy kiss. What is this power you have over me? How is it I can find you every time we're dropped for leave? He pulled back, taking a deep breath as he whispered in my ear. I giggled, his words tickling my senses. He leaned me against one of the walls of the bar, next to another couple who were making out so vigorously they forgot the rest of the bar existed, if not the universe. Just ignore them. It's just the two of us right now. He turned my eyes toward his, kissing me a third time. Why do I let you find me every time? I placed my hands on his muscular chest, gently pushing and slipping out from between him and the wall. No, no, you don't, he said, following close behind me. I hastened my pace, laughing and looking over my shoulder at him as we ran out the front entrance and onto the beach. The firelit torches placed along the dunes were the only light to see by as we began to dance and joke around in the waves, the hem of my mesh dress becoming heavy in the salty ocean water. Oh no, my dress is wet, I playfully said as he caught me, his lips making the skin on the back of my neck tingle, the hair standing up and giving me goose flesh. We should fix that. Garrett threw me over his shoulder, running along the shore and toward the barracks where everyone bunked overnight while on the planet. He finally placed me on the ground when we reached the archway leading into the billet area. I turned away from him, walking through the arch and into the building. As I walked into the lobby, I ran my fingers across the keys to unclaimed rooms, finally picking one on the topmost floor of the building. I placed it in the bodice of my dress, between my breasts, daring him to try and take them from me. A room with a view. I love how you always seem to know what I need, what we both need, Cyan. This time I kissed him and then led him down the hall to the central lift. My fingers deftly found the call button and pressed before he was able to reach where I stood. Leaning against the wall while we waited, he stood next to me, looking me in the eyes. With a ding, the lift doors opened, allowing us entry. I looked to the hall as I leaned forward on the railing, waiting for the car to start moving. The doors noisily closed, sealing us into the metal and glass cocoon. The jolt, we started to move upward, the wall abruptly disappearing and giving us a view over the party areas surrounding the complex of buildings housing all the troops present. Garrett placed his chest to my back, both his hands grasping the railing on either side of me as we watched the lights grow smaller, with each floor we ascended as we made our way to the top floor. I can't wait to have you alone in bed again. He pressed his cheek against mine, the stubble growing from his skin, a beautifully harsh sensation on my face. The lights of the party seemed to be so far away by the time we reached the top floor, the ding from the display breaking both of us from our conversation of a possible future together once we finished our tours, earning our imperial citizenship and procreative rights. I ducked through his arms, seductively leading him past several other rooms till I reached the one I had chosen, waving the fob past the keypad. The aperture rotated open, allowing me to lead him into our space for the night. Garrett walked in, waved his hand over the motion pad, and closed us off from the rest of the building. The room was dark, the dim shine from the lights below us glowing through the windows and lighting up the room with the rotation of light cycling through the color spectrum. "It's just us, my goddess," is all he said to me as we laid in the bed. I had jumped back into the navigator's chair, reading the panels and trying to get a sense of where we had dropped back into real space. The display board lit up in red and yellow, alerting me to the presence of an immediate danger to the ship. I started punching buttons, the analytics pulling up on the screen and telling me what was happening outside the ship so I could try to take some form of evasive action. My breath caught in my lungs as the severity of our situation set in. My eyes grew wide at what I was seeing on the screen in front of me. I looked behind me at O2, who had sat up in the command chair, their hands clutching the armrests as the front view screen lit up, showing us the accretion disk of a stellar mass black hole. "What the hell just happened, 1-4?" Their body language showed their alarm. Their voice synth cracked briefly, the mask overloaded by them yelling. I couldn't speak. "Are we within the gravity well?" O2 asked as they stalked up to me and leaned in, looking at the readouts on the nav station. No. At least not just yet. Hold on." I grabbed the controls, pushing the throttle forward, then turning the controller to the side. I tried steering the ship away from the heavy gravitational pull of the swirling abyss. I punched the subspace drive, hoping the damage to the singularity drive wasn't so extensive that it had taken out the secondary engine. The floor vibrated as the thrusters came to life, the subtle increase in gravity just noticeable as we began to move. Abruptly, we stopped, throwing O2 over the navigator station. I sat up, looking over the control panel and seeing them laying under the platform where the view screen had been built. I moved to tend to them, placing my gauntlet next to theirs to have their suit start a diagnostic on their body systems. Everything checked out. They were just unconscious. I grabbed their legs, sliding them out from under the view screen where I could better see what I was doing and get their suit to wake them up. The diagnostic screen on my arm lit up as I began to flip between different readouts, the BIOS in their suits, sending out the pulse that would help them regain consciousness. They sat up, looking around and then at me. "Did we make it out of the gravity well?" They continued getting to their feet as I walked back around to look at the screen and plot our location in relation to the black hole. I looked at what the map was saying, looked up at them, and then back down at the map, my heartbeat increasing. I closed my eyes, swallowing hard as my suit sent calming impulses through my nervous system. We hadn't moved. Dun dun dun.
Do what?
That's where you left it? That's where they left it?
I mean, there is a word count limit now. So,
I mean,
Yeah, but as we said earlier, we're gonna get a lot of "that's where you left it" because we have a fucking word count limit now.
what I want to know is what's the connection between the
the
one
two stories,
the two different.
O2 and 1-4 and Cyan and Garrett.
Yeah.
Okay, and by the way, does anybody understand that they spelt out grunt?
Yes. I mean, I was reading it on the screen, but, I thought GRUNT would make...
Well, no, because that would make more sense than just saying grunt.
On the screen, it's capital G period, capital R period, capital U period, capital N period, capital T period, dash 02 or 14. And so spelling it out made sense to me in that moment. But yes, grunt.
Whoever it was.
Yeah, whoever it was like, I'm interested to see if they actually continue with this, or is this going to be a freaking one-off? Because I have a feeling a lot of our stuff's going to end up being one-offs, and then I'm going to be like wondering forever, like, what the hell actually happened here?
No, because I know you, Julie. You're going to hound every single person who submits and go, you going to do more of that? I need to know.
Yeah.
You can just tell me. I won't tell anybody else.
Yeah.
I will not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I can't even do that with a straight face. Hold on.
You can't do that with a straight face. And the fact that I thought it and said it out loud means you were thinking it.
Julie, don't be a liar.
I'm not a liar. A fibber, maybe, but not a liar.
Don't be a fibber.
I mean, but I do. Bitzer said subcutaneous tracker. That's my bet on how he can find her. That's a very interesting. I mean, with all the tech that is in this story, somehow Garrett always finds cyan. And it was a weird spelling, so I went with best guess pronunciation. Again, I will be told if it's not correct. But yeah, dude, like that would make so much sense if during one of their liaisons, like the very first one, he put a subcutaneous tracker in her. Of course, he's always going to find her. Now, on the other hand, though, because of how science
maybe his the tracker was on his,
Right.
That's a clever solution.
I mean, there's that. But now here's the other thing, though. If you have not watched Starship Troopers or any of these other, like Rebel Moon was another good one, like scans and always being aware, like constant, you go on a mission, you come back, you go through the scans. So if there's a subcutaneous tracker in her, it's going to be noticed by the medical scans, unless he's got somebody in med. Erases the information about the subcutaneous tracker from her file. He just wants his regular source of nookie. I mean, I can't blame him. Speaking of,
your microphone doesn't like me. Oh, it went on for me the first time. What the hell?
so many ideas on where that story could go. Like the who's it's, the what's it's, the why's it's. And this is why I'm known as the critical thinker, critical reader, because I'm sitting there thinking about all the different ways that he could actually find her and making plausible assumptions about the the technology of the presumed technology of the time frame and what's happening in the world building and how this could actually work. Just saying. Yeah, how much you want to bet the only reason it was fade to black, Bitzer, was because it was being read out live on show? I'm just saying. You do have to keep a certain level of rating around here.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. He's just now getting to the end. They're all just getting to the end of me reading it.
Mm-hmm. That's a delay.
We've got a bad delay. I'm hardlined. I promise you, I am hardlined. I keep refreshing the Twitch stream to see how bad it is. Video is just bad. I'm so freaking glad. Let me check over.
I am so hot. I've been making candles.
I'm glad you put context to that, brother.
I'm with all of you. I know I have to.
Video is frozen.
Mm-hmm.
On YouTube too. I love how not only are you quiet when you have normal conversation, but when you theorize, you're even quieter, which means everybody in our audience is sitting here going, I can't hear Kesh. I can't hear Kesh. I see Kesh's lips moving, but I can't hear her. Yeah, because she doesn't like to speak up. Established. I'm the loudmouth in this relationship. But it's entirely possible. It could be the Stream Deck. It could be so many different other things that could be causing the issue. It could also be the fact that I have more devices that are connected to the internet right now. Here's the thing, Leon. You don't know everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, Bitzer does make a very valid point. Somebody's got to be old enough to understand that reference, to use it. Or devil's advocate, have Gen X parents. I'm just saying.
Because I'm not saying that my 10-year-old wrote this, but I am saying that my 10-year-old knows what a flux capacitor is.
See?
And 1 and 3 is his favorite movies. He doesn't like 2.
Nobody likes 2. I don't understand why nobody likes 2. I mean, it's all right, but I mean, it's not.
It's okay, but did we really need to rehash a lot of fucking shit that we like?
I know.
They could have gone so many different directions with 2, and they didn't.
Yep. Our video is so freaking. So many devices on the thing.
That's why I took mine off. That's some interesting conversation going on in the chat.
Oh,
That's for sure. I know you're more focused on that.
No,
so.
no. It was flying past, and I was like, you know what? Like, yeah, legitimately.
I don't think I have seen our chat this engaged. Like talking more about the stories and you know the guesses and everything else. I'm not sure if it's because not sure if this is because naturally we want to lift each other up. And so when we know whose it is, we're less likely to talk about the confusing things or the great things or the whatever because we're afraid of maybe hurting somebody's feelings or calling them out on something or embarrassing them. But when it's all anonymous, it goes back to the fact that we don't know who it is. So we can just talk about the work.
Right.
Instead
Let
of
the work for itself.
yeah, the work itself rather than worrying about who wrote it. And that way the people who wrote it can literally, hear what we think about the different things and we go, okay, but why this or how's this? Maybe the author who just wrote that one had no idea the who's it's, the why's it that the guy, is always able to find her. And us theorizing in the chat might spark going, ooh, that's a good idea. Ooh, I don't like that idea. And to have us questioning and talking about the dev, it's basically what we do around here is developmental editing. We don't do a lot with the grammar or anything else. That's what Discord is for if you guys want us to sit. Because, I may have earned the reputation as a grammar stormtrooper in 6th grade, but I'm not mean about it. This is how it works. Oh shit, Leon, I'm flat out gathering intel on prompters now. What the fuck, dude?
I almost want to give him like a piece of information, but at the same time, I know it's just gonna make him spiral.
Let him spiral on his own.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like it's so much easier to let him spiral on his own.
I mean, think about how easy it is for me to spiral. Saying. Again, that does not make me feel comfortable.
There's no coziness with that.
Yeah, lag is so bad this is mostly an audio stream at this point. Yeah, I'm tracking that. So our lovely faces mean absolutely jack all.
I guess that's a guarantee that we're not going to give up something.
I mean, even so, even with this lag, we still have 16 people in the audience, which is amazing.
Yes. That is straight up awesome sauce.
So, Julie, for the Fresh Ink page, I just did a post saying, hey, for the first show, we have 17 people night 1, 7 people the night 1, 7 people night 2. Guess who's who? It'll be fun.
Right.
Leon has 1, Patrick number 2, you number 3, Izzy number 4, Death.
Who's you?
I don't know. So what I was gonna say is maybe you could go in and list out the 14 submitters' names randomly.
No. No, no, no,
No.
no, no.
No. No.
No?
No. Nope. That's against the rules.
You know, the rules that I didn't share and I'm making up on the spot.
Hey, look, we're
Yeah.
making him up on the fly.
Oh, Ace is back. I thought I saw earlier in the chat that Ace said that he left for something, but regardless, a little birdie told me that there was a question about whether or not I would read out somebody's first chapter on a live stream.
Oh, fine. Read a chapter of one of mine.
No,
I said, technically, Crosswords was written on stream, so technically, you have already done that.
Yeah, Decoding Shady Pines, Kingdom of Shadows, Heart of Stone.
Right. No.
Marked by the Dawn.
This was
This is a new to us person.
no, it was somebody in another stream asking if I would read out theirs.
No. They were asking me if I could get you to read one of mine.
No, they were wanting her to read theirs.
Oh, read one of theirs? Yeah, that hey, look.
Well, now here's the other thought process that I had with that. Now, Saturdays and Sundays we do the prompts, right? However, you know, as we get more and more doing the things that we're doing and whatnot, Julie and I both have intentions of doing our own individual streams that we are going to support each other on. And then, of course, Styx has his stream and, you know, a couple other people that we'd like to hang out with more throughout during the week and the evenings. So it's entirely possible that occasionally one or both of us would do a stream in midweek where we are reading out somebody's thing that they're asking for critique on, or you know they want to hear how it sounds from somebody else. How many times has Kesh? Okay, look, the original tentacle thing. Okay, Kesh read it out herself and said it didn't sound that bad when I read it. So having somebody else read it will sometimes allow you to hear it from a different perspective and sit there and go, ooh, I didn't realize that that's how that sounded. That is not what I was going for.
Yeah, that was not okay.
Although I very much like the fact that she didn't realize it was as bad as it actually sounded, because now it's a running gag.
It is very much a running gag.
All right, so we're just going to suffer through the last bit of this. Patrick and I have turned our cameras off just to maybe like help alleviate a bit of the stream lag. Not saying that it's actually going to work, but
Do you want me to go ahead and turn mine off too, or
that's up to you. I mean, my YouTube screen just now turned off your camera from the last time you turned it off.
yeah, it's gonna be fun. We'll figure this out before tomorrow night.
So here's my next question. Because of how bad it is and the stream lag and everything else, do we want to do the roll tomorrow night?
Well, if we do the roll tomorrow night, we're going to have to do it early in the stream.
And I'm fine with that.
Because
Maybe the
if we
first thing.
the stream, we typically lose a lot of people. So
that's what I'm saying. If we do it relatively quickly at the beginning of the stream, just so that we can get the what's the word I'm looking for? We get the less lag.
Yeah. Yeah, get the lag over and everything like that. And if we do have the same problems we've got tonight, tomorrow night, at least the rolls were done and we can get on with the fun.
Sorry, I can tell where they are in our conversation based on what they are saying live. It is so fucking delayed.
Why is it always gotta freeze me with my freaking eyes shut? Like, I already look goofy enough. I don't need any help with that.
It'd help if I used the right mouse. Gee, mini Christmas. Oh, I'm sitting here going, what's upper right, upper left, lower right, lower left, center? I don't, Lord Almighty, I renamed our video feed positions and didn't remember that I renamed them.
Gotcha.
It's fine.
Well, Leon, if you're old enough that you can't remember what you submitted, I think there's a place for you. It's called Shady Pines.
Shady Pines. Shady Pines.
Oh my god!
Did he just? Yep. He went there and he did it full chested.
Fuck, that was funny.
You know, I do need more characters for second book beyond Shady Pines.
Oh Lord, have mercy.
I mean,
Oh,
there
I
is
have to
the
put his.
option to name a character in a book. Maybe we should do an option where somebody can be written into a book.
There we go.
Look, I've only done that twice, and only because I know them really, really well. And one was accidental, for that matter. I just started describing it and the character and talking about the character, and Julie's like, fuck, you wrote me into it. And I'm like, fuck, I wrote you into it. Yeah, see, it was Ace. And of course, they're not, none of them are going to hear that we've now seen what they said for another 7 minutes.
Right. All right. I'm actually going to turn my camera off because, it keeps freezing me. Interesting. There we go.
There we go. All right. So this is our last one. I'm going to put something in the chat here. Not thanking Leon. I put into the chat that we're going to need a volunteer to type in the chat when Julie signs off with her normal outro, because we don't want to end the stream too damn early and you don't get to hear the end of a story. Because that's happened. We think we're done, we end the stream, and it cuts off. And then I said, that being said, we're going to also go ahead and roll the dice and vote on the prompt for next week tomorrow near the beginning of the stream. And Leon says, I can do that. He volunteered to be the person that says, we heard Julie's outro.
That's a good plan.
Good plan.
That is a very good plan, and we will figure out what's happening overnight, and hopefully not have this problem tomorrow. But you know what?
So
what is the first of the year without some stuff?
Right. So that being said, tomorrow, if you see Hold My Pen Promptcast going live before our normal time in your time zone, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. Poor Death's Head was confused earlier today because suddenly we went live, not once, but twice. And he's like, wait, did I miss it? No, you did not. We were just testing. And we got things to work, just not as many of the things that we wanted to work. Okay, final story, final submitter for this evening. Anonymous submission number 7. Now, please remember, if you heard your number tonight, don't share it with anyone. And that will be your submitter number for the entire month. Okay? So next week, the numbers are going to be all out of order. Anyhow. I'm not allowed to be overdramatic, am I?
Okay, I'm sorry.
You're allowed to be as dramatic as you need to be.
I know. Well, I was sitting here talking about making it a big to deal that all the numbers are going to be out of order, and Cash is sitting here going, I think it'll be easier than you think it's going to be. Like all motherly and going, it will be okay. We'll be fine. It's all right. And I'm like, good God, can't I be melodramatic just for the sake of being melodramatic?
Yes.
No, I can't tell that we're not best friends. Okay, last story. There you go. Last story. Didn't expect to work again, Selena muttered under her breath as she watched the pressure cooker on the oven filled with bubbling thick cream. Just how any lioness would normally like it, except her father was nearby and she was eagerly watching the ticking time bomb. Last time this had happened, Selena had stuffed everything grain and starchy vegetable known to man into it. She had been told not to touch the pressure cooker, and she didn't, technically. Selena waited until the cook took off the lid, and then she made some excuse to get the cook out of the room. Then she used tongs to pick up the lid and secure it with the vent slightly askew. Technically, she didn't touch it. So she would technically not be in any trouble. Her father, Castian, walked closer to the pot with his current book in hand, his neat, pressed shirt without a wrinkle in sight and pristine hair combed back into a neat, low ponytail. The perfect, annoying image of lion shifter kind. Her smile grew ecstatic, imagining his reaction and his hour-long routine ruined in one single moment. A ting, and then a pop came from the pressure cooker. It was starting to build in pressure, and her father was still unaware. Show him for saying I couldn't get another book boyfriend, Selena muttered to herself from around the corner. Then boom, the pressure cooker exploded. Castian startled and shifted away halfway through his clothes. a pair of ears messing up his hair and a tail protruding from his brand new pants. Selena held back her laugh for a moment before she couldn't contain it any longer, and it left her in waves. Tumbled to the ground in a heap of laughing, choking, and then more roars of laughter. A growl came from her father before she got up and sprinted from the compound. Their home was a 100-acre property of homes surrounding the main house for congregating. It only really consisted of a large kitchen and a few rooms for events or playing on TV, but very useful for Selena pranks. You better stop right where you are, Selena. A fellow shifter, Italy, marched up to her. Selena's laughter slowed down as she watched Italy approach. I know you were feeling up my man. You hoe. You know we made it official. Italy meant they were mates, not in the, oh, I sensed your soul connection to me and now we are bound forever and ever. Blah. No, it was more like a contract or a regular old relationship. Some books still swear the old mate bond exists, but Selena swore it was all just made up mumbo jumbo. Oh, because I totally want my tail skimming up the side of his pancake ass. Be so for real here, Italy. No one wants your man. Some of us don't even get why you want him. Selena examined her nails. Her inner lioness thrived off telling off dumbasses and mischief incarnate. Italy began to stutter as she fought to come up with something to spit out. Keith wouldn't lie to me. I'm his mate. He said so. Then Italy stomped her foot. Oh, honey. Selena eyed her up and down with a pitiful gaze, feeling almost sorry for the poor girl. Almost. She let a recent stray cat chew up Selena's favorite leather jacket. It was a one of a kind, came with a smutty audiobook and everything. Though she had let her stray chew on Italy's favorite heels, so she guessed it was fair. Not that she admitted it out loud. The one thing the Pride had was loads of cats, and not just the shifters, strays, shelter rescues, abusive owners, etc. You could say we have a tendency to keep them. After all, we are their relative cousins, in a sense. Selena watched as her father ran out of the main house covered in hot dairy and clumps of boiled milk on his hair. Hopefully, it distracted him long enough to forget to check her dress before the meeting with the shifter leaders. As heir, she was expected to attend, but that didn't mean she wouldn't dress in style. Not that tunic her father gave her. If she attended in that, every woman in the Pride would have a field day. Her aunts would never let her live it down. Selena had come up with a manual of how to evade her father's detection named Manual for Mischief. Simple and short, like her dresses. Step 1, withdraw the necessary amount of money for items bought today from an ATM. Step 2, I walk into a random clothes shop. Step 3, exit closely with someone else who is exiting the store as well. Step 4, distraction. She had weaved in and out of stores in various disguises and used the advantage of crowds to avoid the cameras. Her father liked to see everything to make sure his plans always worked out. Selena refused to let him be a party pooper. All she had to do was go to the fitting for her real dress, but it would be all for naught if her dad caught on and canceled the dress order. It was a lovely piece with a high slit and no back. If it was up to her dad, she would be in a dress from when she was 9. Hell no. Stella Ella Hola, her friend called over the phone. Selena glanced around the cafeteria of the mall in a suffocating knit sweater and long skirt. Tap, 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 Selena replied. When they were kids, the two came up with a code for all their mischief. As the top pranksters at their private school, they needed a way to share information while being innocuous. Thus, Stella Ella Ola, because her friend's name was Stella. Are you going to show me later? Stella asked, her voice barely holding back her excitement. You'll see at the meeting. Stella was among the other heirs. Her father was the leader of the leopard shifters. They grew up close together thanks to the carnivorous nature of their inner animals. come on. I am your bestie. I should get to see it first. Selena entered the vehicle waiting for her. Hell no. Any exposure is just another moment Dad might pop in and see my surprise. Stella made a disappointed, pouty noise on the other end of the phone. I took down the mall's camera feed just for you to hold back on the goods. Not fair, Stella whined. You know I love and appreciate you, bestie. You'll see the dress soon. Selena hung up just as they pulled up to her house. With a wave to the driver, she sprinted up the stairs with her garment bag in tow. 2 dresses and 3 hours to make one into the cover a nun would approve of. By the end of snipping, sewing, and gluing, Selena had the perfect cover. It was gray and blue with ruffles everywhere. It covered her shoulders and curves, basically a block of ruffles and floor-length fabric. As she got dressed, her father rushed into the room to confirm everything was going as planned. He simply nodded at her puke gray nun dress and rushed to put his cufflinks on. Walking downstairs, Selena's brother, Austin, and Stella stood beside each other in matching blue outfits. Stella held a giggle behind her hand as Selena's father glanced at the pair in suspicion. They were all rushed out the door and pushed into the waiting vehicle. A suppressive drive later, and the group had arrived at the neutral zone for the shifters. Austin ushered the two in behind her dad, who had practically run through the hall to the room at the end. Wait for us at the room off to the left. Just a quick chat with a few others before the meeting will begin. Austin shot a glare at Selena. No mischief. She gave a serene smile. Of course, dear brother. Austin squinted. Scout's honor. Stella faked a salute. You were never a scout. Austin deadpanned. He sighed deeply. Just don't rope me into your chaos. Selena and Stella watched Austin walk away with a mischievous glint in their eyes. Time to shock the masses. There were some old geezers that might leer at her, but Selena didn't care. Her beauty wasn't meant to be caged like a circus act. The doors opened for the two young women. A greeter took their coverings for them while their names and shifter association was announced. Her dress was out for everyone to see. The red satin fabric hugged her curves in a mermaid cut with a deep V neckline and no back. Her deep tanned skin radiated in the poppy red. Stella gasped. Selena, it's gorgeous. OMG. Her best friend's eyes staring in awe at the dress of a lifetime. Girl, don't you see yourself? You are gorgeous too. If Austin doesn't, Selena waggled her eyebrows. I'll keep his set as a car ornament. Stella held her hands to cover her pale face. Her chestnut hair swirled in curls, framing her blushing face. Her brother would be crazy to not go nuts after about Stella's corset style dress with a simple skirt and a slit halfway up her leg in a cobalt blue. The two linked arms and carefully walked down the stairs while using each other to steady each step. Why do heels and stairs have to be so difficult? Stella groaned. We could just take off our heels and go barefoot. Stella groaned louder. We promised it would be at least after the second glass. The meeting was meant to be communication between the packs, but slowly over time it became an event to dress your best. Selena's pride for sure started the need to upstage everyone by the next meeting. Eventually, it became bragging rights to be the one who caught the most amount of attention. A chill blew past Selena. Goosebumps rose as she glanced around to find the source of the foreboding feeling coming over her. Then, as quickly as it came, it disappeared. Selena's eyes landed on Marie, the heir and princess of the hyena cackle. The hyena princess's arms were wrapped around the tall man with broad shoulders facing away from her. Marie's lips tried to reach up and speak softly into the man's ear, except her chin didn't even reach his shoulder. It was well known that she would cling to any man who spoke even remotely kind to her, excluding the shifter elders. The image of Marie trying to smooch up to a shifter who gave up his animal side for wrinkly skin and old person smell made Selena nauseous. Marie squished the man's toned arm in between breasts while trying to stare up like a doe. Let's just say there's a reason most of us leave that look for the deer shifters. She looked like that meme of the psychotic girlfriend. The man tore his arm from her grasp. His large, hulking frame locked Selena's gaze in a trance. She might have never said it out loud, but something about someone bigger and taller than her was deeply alluring. She hadn't seen his face, but felt like it would just entrance her even more. Her feet had minds of their own, and soon she was behind Marie and the stranger. Noah, please, if you come home with me, I'll show you a. Marie whined. Marie, I already said no. I'm not here to be harassed. Frankly, you're embarrassing yourself. What would your father say to you hitting on the next heir of the wolf shifters? Marie's face took on a look like she suddenly sucked on a sour lemon, like she's not used to being told no, which she wasn't. Before Noah, she had been only picking up low ranked members of multiple shifter clans, but it would seem all the attention got to her head. Oh my. Is Marie begging a man to come home with her? How sad for all the other shifters at the party eager for her attention. Selena held a hand to her mouth as her eyes met Noah's. His eyes that sparkled like a magical pool of water, waiting for her to jump in and complete her trance and spin her world on its axis. Noah Steele, son of Sebastian Steele, was in front of her in the flesh, the one known for his ruthless measures to enforce peace among his people. Then the door crashed open as an assistant came running. He's missing! Sebastian Steele is missing! Someone get Councilman Elijah! Dun dun dun.
That's it?
That's it. I put my camera back on. Just.
I mean, damn.
I feel like it was trying to do a lot in a very short amount of time, and we didn't get very much world building. But I do like the fact that we are dealing with like shifters of multiple kinds. So often we see just werewolf shifter, right? Or wolf shifter, as the case may be. But this is like kind of making it like it's a structure, and
Right.
all the different shifter types communicate with each other. So that's interesting. Very, very interesting. But as a kind of like a rough draft for concept, interesting
Yeah, because
take.
what I didn't realize is even though a lot of the stuff, a lot of the stuff tonight was very clean. These are all rough drafts, people.
Yes, they are all rough drafts. But yeah, I mean, definitely the concept of lion shifters, leopard shifters, hyenas, wolves, all being like together and communicating with one another and whatnot. But at the same time, it does have that mean girl.
Mean girl hierarchy. I'm
Yeah.
better than you. It doesn't matter. And even among shifters, you do have a lot of that uh representation that one race is better than the other.
Just a moment. Bathroom will be otherwise occupied for an extended amount of time, so I must run to the restroom and use it before it is unavailable.
Gotcha. But yeah, no, that was amazing.
sir. Yes, he does.
Yes, he does. Starvos, we landed on 7, and that's where we're actually going to end out tonight. In the process of ending out on 7. Also, quick reminder, because of all the issues we're having tonight, and to make sure that everybody gets their vote, we will be doing the roll at the beginning of tomorrow night's show. So everybody show up for tomorrow night's show, stay, have fun. We still got 7 more submissions left for the evening for tomorrow. So hoorah. But because we really don't have anything else, do we have any more announcements or anything like that, Kesh, that she gave you information before she ran off? Okay,
Ran
she did
off.
not.
Just like
Just made a run
nothing,
for
no
it.
notes. Just kind of left me here
She's
hanging.
out.
So,
All
there she
right.
is.
So
Do we have any announcements?
Do we have any announcements?
I did say already that we're going to do the roll for tomorrow, or the rolls tomorrow at the beginning of the show.
Correct.
So
Yes, which I also put in the chat. And Leon has volunteered to say that he has heard your outro when you give it, so that way we know that we can end the stream. I'm going to say we don't raid out. It is almost midnight, and the technical scuff difficulties, et cetera, everybody's got to be tired by this point.
oh yeah.
Other than that, don't forget that I'm going to be doing the rolls tomorrow. Keep in mind Char's challenge. Character has to fail. If you choose to do said challenge, right? That's not a requirement, but it'd be an interesting writing exercise if you do. Again, don't forget, if you see us go live before our normal start time in your time zone, no, you didn't. You saw nothing. You saw
between
nothing.
Between Death Head and Dahlia, they were like, what's going on? Nothing. Izzy's setting up something. Just let it be. But yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. I'm gonna go ahead and give the outro because I don't think we have anything else, and if we do, it can wait till tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Plus, everybody that we would normally raid out to is not on right now.
Hey, there we go.
So hope everybody. Oh, and Patrick said, phone died.
Okay.
So the best thing to do is everybody go get some sleep. Come back here tomorrow night. Same bat time, same bat channel, and we will continue with the the second part of the anniversary show of the anonymous Fresh Ink January. But don't add to the population. Don't subtract from the population tonight. If you get your ass arrested, you're stupid. And no, we will put money on your commissary, but I don't think we're going to bail your ass out.
Damn.
It's like, look, it's Saturday night. You got to be here for Sunday show. If you get your butt arrested in the next 10 minutes, you did something. There's nothing we can do about that. But if you do, assert dominance. We'll make sure there's money on your books. Otherwise, be brave, be bold, but always stay humble. We'll see you tomorrow night. Bye, guys.